For the first time in my life, I'm truly free to see the clear-cut forest for the poison sea, to see the waters occupy the shores of Jersey, and I feel alive.
All right, hi, as promised on Calfire Crackpots 19, couldn't be 20 because I couldn't be ours to record while I was having COVID. Special guests, Psychic Dolphin Garage. We got Dennis and Charlie from the cool pod, much cooler than us.
Hi,
everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Charlie. She, her.
I'm Dennis. He, they. It's like
Just
our
like
podcast.
Yeah, just like our show. Look at us.
Huh?
Oh, isn't that nice?
we just fell right into it. Wow.
Yeah, we did. We loved the cold opens that aren't cold because we don't edit. Very nice.
No editing, no nothing. You're gonna really, if you like our show, you're gonna hear all the stuff we cut out because we don't want to get canceled, and here we are.
Or like it's just too spicy, and we're like, oh, that's Patreon. That's
Yeah.
Patreon worthy.
My version of not getting canceled is watching it before I upload it and be like, I can trim that one joke that I said that was kind of out of pocket.
Okay, so there is some editing.
There is editing. It's the Windows video editor, so I put in the music and then I watch it so I can use their janky as fuck like snipping thing.
Right. Okay.
Just
Very nice.
after you and afterwards, you're gonna make one of those anime music videos in
Yes.
Windows Movie Maker. Perfect.
Mhm. Wait, I can make you telling me I can make one of those for free? Man, I wish I could learn how to speed up Rockefeller Street. Anyway. So we're coming back to California Water Politics 2.0. See, I'm really getting better at SEO because I have
Mhm.
California and politics in the title.
Ooh.
Wow.
Like, hold on, I'm
Uh,
gonna go to the kind of pit of my terrible SEOs, which is the Nile River and its many Niles. Makes a great pun, not so good for SEO.
No, it doesn't.
And the most viewed videos are the ones that have the word California in it. So
Oh, see, that was the opposite for me when I was doing videos. All of my ones that were about California water, no, nothing. But then the ones that were like about Del Taco, perfect.
oh yes,
Uh-huh.
everyone
well-
wants Del Taco.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you.
We need to do an episode about Del Taco in California.
Are you kidding me? I would love to. I could talk about Del Taco for like an hour.
I can talk about Del Taco for the hour and a half that I spent throwing up from it. I got a Del Taco, probably the worst taco I've ever had in Salt Lake City, and got violent food poisoning from it.
That's pretty great. No, it'll be good. We'll do an on-air taste test where we, I guess in my case, maybe like go through the ruins of the Del Taco around here. I don't know if it caught on fire or not.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, that's right. Jesus Christ.
I think
Calfire
the Del Taco
Crackpots.
was spared.
Calfire Crackpots taking a company field trip to a Del Taco location on the West Coast. As proud residents of Chirac, we enjoy our version of In-N-Out, which is Portillo's, except Portillo's is actually good.
Well, I'm
Eating
vegan,
jabs
so I
that
don't need
early,
anything
huh?
there.
Yeah, really hitting low. I don't know. In-N-Out's
I don't-
overrated.
I don't have any opinion of either of these other than it sounds like from the one episode we did about In-N-Out, they sound terrible.
I like In-N-Out's fries, and that's pretty much all I can eat there.
I was just thinking of the people who own it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, there we go. That
yeah,
too.
she's terrible.
And Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm. It's all
Yeah,
the same thing.
I mean, it tastes good, but it's overpriced. It's like, I don't know, whatever shitty burger place you have in your big city always ends up being mediocre. Like Five Guys is not $10 burger level. It's
Is that how much a burger is at Five Guys?
Oh my god.
I get
Wow.
my burger with everything on it, which makes it
Oh.
like $10 or $11.
Declan, do you have any tales from the bottle of your time at Chick-fil-A?
Oh yeah. I used to work at Chick-fil-A,
Mhm.
and let's see. Oh, my manager said bruh once to my face. That's
How old were they?
my manager couldn't be younger than 30.
Okay.
I know they had at the very least like secondary education, so they definitely are like over 20. Let's see. There's a person who quit in the middle of their shift and took off their gloves and threw one at the wall, and it stuck to the wall because they were breading.
I don't like that.
There was one other guy who, kind of a little bit younger than me, and he didn't have his own ride, and he said, oh, mom called me, I have to go right now or else she won't have a ride for me. And he was like further into the city than me, so he of course gets let off. I asked him about the next day, and I'm like, dude, that sucks, she must be really mean to you. And he's like, nah, I just want to get back online, like play some video games and shit with my friends. And I'm like, bruh, I
On
had
the
to cook for
grind
you.
set. You don't understand. Some people they got a game. Like you just in the middle of the shit, you just got a game. It's like
Yeah, like, and what the fuck am I else? I'm at work. Like, I could be doing something better. I got Stardew Valley or some shit that is
Yeah,
more,
it's
that
like,
produces more value than working
It
at
does, yeah.
Subway.
yeah, and it's like I work at Subway. Okay, you give some guy like an extremely shitty sandwich that he's probably gonna like throw at someone, and then I could just play video games.
One time at the Subway, someone did buy a sandwich to throw at something, but it was but it was to throw at a coyote that was hanging out in the parking lot and did not look well fed. So they just like overhanded it to the coyote by the dumpster, and it was great.
Oh, that's
So-
nice.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
nice. They're just like, how much meat can you put on a bread before you have to charge me too much? And I'm like, okay, we can do this.
At our high school cafeteria, they have like a fake Subway equivalent, and some guy like they allow you to put like olive oil and vinegar, but you're allowed to do it yourself. So this kid had a
Oh,
sandwich made,
no.
literally took the lid off the screw bottle that was
Oh.
probably like 5 or 6 ounces and dumped the whole thing.
Oh.
Fuck.
And
Why
like the
is-
60-year-old lunch lady, of course, like didn't give a fuck. So she was just
What is they doing? Are they making TikToks or some shit? Who is doing this not for content?
I don't know, but you're not getting any reception on TikTok at our cafeteria.
We find
Yeah, our school's like 4 floors, and of course, like it's in our cafeteria is in like the double basement.
oh yeah, it's all the way down at the bottom of the basement, and our school is confirmed to have asbestos, and the ceiling just kind of falls in sometimes when it rains too hard.
They have signs on the doors that say there's asbestos in here.
Yeah,
I'm used to that.
On the
being in
cafeteria?
California.
Literally
But-
miracle mineral. What do you mean?
built during the Civil War. That is how old our school is.
That rocks.
There were
I think-
people owning slaves when our
I think our school
built.
wasn't designed with a parking lot because the
because it was the
time they made it,
1860s.
cars weren't
It's
Of
like
course, they
there was
didn't have a parking lot
Yeah,
there.
where are you gonna hitch your like horse and buggy? They have plenty of horse
Still
hitches.
going and tying up my Toyota Tacoma, hitching it to the hitching post.
They got a spittoon there. You gotta spit out your tobacco before you
A
get to
wild-
English class.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We got an opium den in the library, just in case you want to.
Yeah, just shoveling asbestos into your face in like the orchestra sub pit basement where they just used to do opium. It was
Yeah.
the teacher's lounge back when, it was actually relaxing.
There
Hey,
still
you
is a
know-
room in the attic that kids do opium in. So like,
I've done enough teaching to know that those teachers kind of deserve it. They need a little opium break every once in a while.
yes,
Yeah.
High school's
yes.
tough.
high school is so tough.
You
Anyway.
guys are monsters.
We are, we are absolutely insufferable bastards. I am well aware.
Yeah, all of my treasured memories from high school are from after I left during the day.
Yeah, I was like, I think all of my treasured memories from high school will be after graduation.
They were mostly from the summer when we like just got together with the 5 people in the school who mattered to any of us, and we made movies and shit. That was
Very
the fun
nice.
part.
Actually, yeah, that does sound a lot like my high school experience.
So before we get into the contents, there's some news that's not really news, but it's kind of a week old. So
Okay.
Theranos,
Is it back?
A one Elizabeth Holmes. Well, no, she's
Yeah.
She was convicted of everything that involved grifting rich people and nothing that involved scamming poor people, as usual.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, yeah, but those kind of things don't like just die and disappear.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, this upstanding woman named Elizabeth Holmes was a long history of Stanford dropouts becoming criminals. Elon Musk is one of them.
Not bad.
Anyway, yeah. So she has
Arguably, like, arguably less of a criminal than most Stanford graduates, but
yes.
yeah, not by much. Well,
So
no, actually,
anyway-
by a lot. Never mind.
Well, yeah, because then the other ones. So you have the two Stanford graduates. So the ones who drop out become people who do kind of cool things, but end up becoming criminals, and then the other half graduate and then become software engineers for dog food delivery startups.
Yeah, or like the government's drone liaison for bombing wherever.
No, those are the UCs.
Oh, now you're right.
That's Cal State's. We don't do anything.
Yeah,
We have nothing to show for.
if you go into your Google or any search engine and look up stanfordrejects.com, it is an auto redirect to UC Berkeley's website.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Someone is paying for that redirect. Like probably a good amount of money.
I love hearing about the insane things that college kids get up to. Just that, and the guy at Harvard that translated, what was it, like, I can eat glass, it does not harm me at all, into like 200 something languages.
No, I think the funnier story about the Harvard graduate is the one named Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Oy.
So Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes, she said she designed this thing called the Edison, which was a blood tester that could basically take a drop of blood and perform the same test as a full hospital grade blood lab. So pretty cool on paper, and it was gonna be revolutionary. So you know all those wellness centers Walgreens opened? Like,
No, I
back?
don't.
So it was basically these small Walgreens centers that were supposed to have these Theranos boxes in there.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't look like this. They looked like this.
What is the Edison then? Is that like the pre-box or?
So the Edison was this box. So you would go in, you'd have a blood drop of a couple drops, and then it would basically tell you early diagnostics for cancer, AIDS,
Right.
cholesterol, like a bunch of cool stuff that normally you would need to go to a hospital and get a full blood work done just for one of those diagnostics.
Right. No,
And-
definitely. What I don't understand is the googly eye robot also that device?
Okay, so the googly-eyed robot. This is a good story. So
Okay. That's the one I don't know. The
Okay,
box
this
I
one-
know.
it's this about $13,000 piece of equipment that's only job is to walk around a grocery store, and if something's on the floor, it'll yell at an alarm for some wagey to come and pick it up. And that's all it does. And there have been stories of it running into shelves and knocking things over and then calling the wagey to come and pick it up.
Jesus
No.
Christ.
It's
That's like that's a fucking that's like fucking like Lost in Space Simpsons jokes. Like
Capitalism's proudest moment is designing a machine to get wages to do stuff that the machine needs them to do.
yeah, it's got the googly eyes. It just goes around flailing its arms. Time to lean, time to clean, as it knocks over an entire shelf of pickles.
God. Man, I worked at a Target where the pickle shelf fell over.
Sorry.
Oh fuck.
That was a bad day. That was a really bad day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
God.
Smell.
Just thousands of people all day asking you from the other side of the store, why does it smell like pickles? And you're like, just shut up. Just shut up and buy your frozen pizza.
Oh my!
Oh.
I mean, it
Pickles
was
is Target
better than. Oh, a lot. But it was better than the day that that this one person like discreetly pooped in every single section.
What? What?
Every single section.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Well, like it's just meticulously going through every aisle and like putting a check
Pooping.
mark on their bulletin board.
That's
Man's had the extra long magazine perk.
God.
yeah, how do you store that much up in you to do that? That's
Every
feel like
I think they got
partitioning
I think
it
they
at
got
that
I think
point.
they got caught before they could go to every section, but you know, is it the day that the person poops in every section, or is it the pickle day? I don't know. Like,
Infamous Target Pooper says there are more like him.
On like my last day at Chick-fil-A, oh my god, on my last day at Chick-fil-A, I had to take out the big bag of breading that's wasted at the end of the day, which is always like 50 or 60 pounds and is
Jesus.
fully just an about
and
to
bread.
break trash bag. And I toss it up and it hits the side of the trash can and splits down the middle. And I pieced out.
Yeah, it's your last.
Yeah, what
day.
else
That
are
was
you
your
supposed
last.
to
That's
do?
act.
not my problem. It really is not my problem.
no,
So-
it's a bunch of birds' problem, and they have a
I'm a-
solution.
Yeah.
I'm a bike mechanic at like a really small shop, right? And it's pretty chill. You know, people who come in there generally aren't out to make your day suck. But my favorite workplace story involved this like creepy old guy with mad cataracts coming into the shop. And he was kind of looking at me.
Oh,
was
I
like,
know
"All
this
right."
one.
Yeah, I told you this one. And he's picking up his bike. All right. And ring him up. And of course, he wants help getting it into his car. So I go out, get it into his car. And then he's still staring at me and he says, "You know, you're going to make a man real happy one day," and hands me a 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, guy. Yeah. Thank you.
I
thank
have
you.
nothing to say to that, but like, if anyone listening ever meets me in public and wants to do that, you go for it.
Thank you,
I'm fine with that.
gender-affirming creepy old guy.
Yeah.
I've never seen him again.
Super old now. That is never happening to me.
I say, I mean, he doesn't have to come in anymore. He
No.
spent his life searching for a woman who's gonna make a man happy,
He found it.
and he found one. He's done.
It's very nice of him. So anyway, this little Edison box, it didn't work. Basically, everyone in the company, Elizabeth Holmes, knew that this was physically impossible. There's a reason why hospitals don't have Edisons and they do have big expensive equipment for blood batteries. It's because you need the big expensive equipment to do a blood battery.
Yeah,
And
I love looking at something that costs like $10,000 to do because it's actually the cost
Yeah.
of the materials, and go, what if that just was free and not like those were provided to you, but like I just had a magic box that just told you what you wanted to hear, or not. Maybe just says you'll die. It's really got a
what
50-50 chance.
what she would do is for all these high profile diagnoses, she would take the few drops of blood and then pay the people to get a full blood battery with the same results. And this all caught up with her, and she was indicted on like, because she grifted like the Waltons and like a bunch of other people out of a bunch of money for investment. And she was recently convicted of all of the counts that involved grifting rich people, but none of the counts that misdiagnosed someone with HIV and didn't catch someone's prostate cancer until it was too late. So she has a maximum sentence of 20 years per count, but she will not get the maximum sentence. I guarantee you she will be out and about in 2 years.
That might
Three
be
of which will be on probation.
that might be too late for her to do a crypto grift. I think she might have to come up with a new thing.
Yeah, she might be back in
Yeah.
the crypto. Yeah. Elizabeth
I mean,
Holmes in crypto
honestly,
and
just
gaming.
just sitting there in prison on the phone they let you have in rich people prison, just like
Yeah.
trading crypto on Venmo, being like, well, it's a small start, but it gets me through the day.
It's like the
You
scene in
wanna know-
Goodfellas, except they just have a Bloomberg terminal in the middle of the room.
What bothers me most about Elizabeth Holmes is that Steve Jobs was her idol. It's obvious from this picture, like the ugly turtleneck,
Ugh.
Yeah.
the makeup.
Yeah, she even like purposefully lowered her voice.
Yeah,
when she would
yeah.
do interviews.
Yeah, there's a documentary called The Inventor that covers this super well. And it's she made her voice like kind of sound like this. But she had just a regular voice at like when she was at work. So
You know, if she really idolized Steve Jobs, she would have transitioned to look exactly like him.
yes.
Yeah,
She could have too. I see that in the picture.
Yes.
she
because,
could have shaved her head.
Yeah.
well, no, but the thing is for Steve Jobs, you need like the salt and pepper bald. It's like the cool dad bald.
Yeah, she's a bit too young for that. I don't know. if she'll
Yeah,
be
that's
able
the
to pull it off.
problem.
Hey, you put enough tea in you, you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you also have to be a certain age.
Well, Steve Jobs was not that age at one point. Like there are other Steve Jobs who were terrible throughout
Yeah.
history.
What
That's
did
true.
Steve Jobs look like when he was 30?
Good
That-
question.
He wasn't wearing the turtlenecks.
Year
yet.
old. Wait, Steve Jobs is trans? Canon? Is this canon that Steve Jobs
Canon?
is trans?
Okay.
I could believe it.
Trans Steve Jobs would honestly probably look like Annie Lennox.
Wait a minute. What? 30-year-old Steve Jobs looks like he belongs in Pink Floyd. What?
I'm looking this up.
Well-
Yeah, I mean,
He looks way too British.
he looks like he would make some shitty 24-minute long prog rock song.
Yeah.
And
He's not
in a way, isn't that the world we live in now?
Yes.
Was
this is
Steve
the
Jobs 30
society.
years ago, like right in the middle of his company going tits up?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, he was
So
actually
having
not.
having a midlife
was-
crisis.
Yeah,
He
no,
fit
he
it up
wasn't
better
at-
than he was when he
So
was
so
rich.
what you're saying is Steve Jobs, month 6 of HRT.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't at Apple at that point. He was like bugging Disney and Pixar, trying to do some other stuff. This was like would have been like 1990. Yeah, I think he
Making
was already
making
at-
the cursed Pixar baby, the Toy Story
Mhm.
1 baby.
Oh no, not
God.
not that scary baby.
Yeah, so we have a little bit here on Calfire Crackpots. We have Jerry Seinfeld saying, "What's the deal with the episode's topic?" Now, this episode is going to cover a lot of different names and faces, so I thought this would be more appropriate. So
Oh, it's
here's our cast
beautiful.
of characters. I tried to
Ooh.
find some interesting pictures. We got Gavin Newsom
Mhm.
announcing this week's lottery numbers for who's going to get the $600 Amazon or water bill gift card.
Do they do that in California? That's entirely believable.
The Vax for the win thing.
Yeah.
That
I
was,
was-
so
I was
dystopic.
really-
I watched that and it was like a presenter who looked like he had a gun to his head off camera, and then like Gavin Newsom pulling the lottery balls out of the cage. It was so weird.
I was a little
This is a-
mad that I didn't win. TBH.
This is a goddamn episode of Sliders. What the fuck?
It
Hey,
is.
I could have had $1 million and I would not be talking to any of you right now.
Yeah.
Oh God, you would look if you win that. Will you at least give me like a few thousand?
Of course.
Okay,
There's
thank you.
Joe
That's all I
Biden,
need.
Grandpa Joe tasting his wife's hand.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
don't
good.
know how that
Uh,
picture came to be. Did she like accidentally slap him?
No,
While she
she
was
was like
taking it.
just extending her hand and
No, he just playfully bitter. It's
She
the,
was
it's the thing
eating
I do.
Cheetos, and they're both in a really shitty Super Bowl commercial.
I mean, it's the thing we all do. I walk up to my partners, they just go, "How?" and I put my
Yeah,
mouth on
I
them.
mean,
While you're giving
not-
a speech.
Look,
giving
if
a
Joe
speech in
like
the Capitol.
it would be adorable, Joe Biden doing that if he didn't also like sniff children's hair. Like,
Yeah, don't kink shame Joe Biden unless he's sniffing a child's hair. Maybe he just likes to nibble the wife's fingers. Anyway, then we
Ooh.
have Bill Clinton delivering the most famous line of his career.
I am not a crook. Yes.
How good? Okay, I've had a question that I've asked many people. How good was that dome for him to lie nationally?
I mean,
Dude
Charlie.
was, dude
Charlie
was
and I
willing to
were-
risk his career and get indicted federally for that sloppy.
I mean, Charlie, you and I were like around the same age at that time. I would have been like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8, somewhere around there.
Yeah. What year was that? Like 90?
96? I think it was
96?
like 96 to 98.
Yeah, I would have been like 8, 7.
Yeah, I just remember, I remember it just being nonstop talked about, and like, I do believe I had like that's when I learned what like that people could put like peepees in their mouth.
Oh.
You know, I don't actually know when I learned that, but that might as well have been it because I don't have any other.
No,
I think-
I'm gonna
I think
as
there's a
a
whole
sheltered
generation of
zoomer,
us.
I can say that it probably wasn't when I was 7.
Well, you know, that's the problem. It's like it took a little while to learn that because for a while you just keep hearing the word blow job and you think blow job. Those words do not. I don't know what that is. I'm 7, and then by the time I'm 8 or 9, I've absolutely figured out what that is, and I think, huh, the mechanics of that don't fit with the words I'm seeing. Do you blow?
Yeah,
Do you blow up the bladder like a balloon?
you know what, Charlie, you
No.
you were such an insightful child.
I was,
Truly
yes.
a gifted child. Anyway, Then we have Mr. Manchin getting ready to blow Seinfeld's head off.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And then Obama being the throat goat.
yeah.
Throat goat.
This picture of Trump that I honestly I don't know where this picture came from, but it is the best picture of him.
It's just proliferated the internet to such a level.
Ever since this has been a meme for going on 7 years.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Since 2015. Then here's
I mean, it's a real stick it to him pose. Like, it's the only relatable face he's ever made.
I just want to know what was the context of that picture, because I don't often find myself going like that.
I mean, it was discussing a very difficult anal fingering session from the night before.
It was a very difficult math problem he was trying to discuss. And then we have lovely Senator Sinema. And then
Mhm.
George Bush ready to get those terrorists and then watch this
Mhm.
drive.
Yeah.
That is still like
The best
people,
video on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
people often forget, like, because people are like, oh, like George W. Bush didn't have like this much like he wasn't that bad. He like paid attention to the country. It was like, no, he didn't. Like, there's like documented evidence that he was just as stupid and corrupt
As his
and
father.
conservative, and not just his father, but any Republican. Like,
Well, yeah.
they're
I mean,
all
that was-
really, really bad.
That was the real, like, we're going to run this country like a business. That's when it finally calcified into exactly what we're doing. And they put someone in there who's just going to be like, hell yeah, I'm going to play golf and do shit and write me a speech and put me in front of people and I'll make them weep. Because I assume sad things are happening.
I think the highest moment of George Bush's career was saying, we're gonna get those terrorists. Now watch this drive, and then absolutely like destroying the ball.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no. That is now watch this drive is a
insane
classic.
drive. Yeah. All right.
thought-
Anyway,
I was gonna say, I think that his pre politics career, or pre presidential politics career, his my favorite quote of his is when someone was asking about his dad, because his dad was seen as like weak and like lily livered, and they would always make him eat like beef jerky to seem like he was macho. So
Right. Which he
so, like,
absolutely deliberately cultivated.
right,
Like,
but
I
they
am
are-
weak. Yes, of course. I just like send
tricky.
black ops people to kill people around the world. It's the fucking head of the CIA. You're not weak if you do that. You're just a piece of shit.
But a reporter was like, "Hey, how's your dad doing?" or something like that. And George W. Bush was just like, "He's real macho," and that's it.
God.
Oh god, that is like that is a traumatized child just like who's been taught to say that. Just
He's crying out
The
for help.
entire Bush administration feels like the season 8 of a sitcom after everything's getting old and they have to introduce like a baby to like just have something to work with.
the Muppet babies of American presidencies.
Yeah.
So all of them is what you're saying.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
see, this is great. You gotta love the George Bush presidency because like his
Why,
dad
though?
just screwed him. Like it's like literally handing off a company to your son just before it's about to fail. Like,
Oh yeah,
oh my god, that's like you could
Yeah.
have seen all of it coming, and then 9/11 happens like fucking like right at the start, and he's like, damn. I thought this was gonna be a sweet ride. And then it
So,
was, but they made
yeah.
the best out of it. But it wasn't him who did that. I mean, it was, but it wasn't.
People
And,
have
you
got
know-
a lot of names for California. The Golden State, the land of opportunity. But a lot of people disagree on its name. So I've chosen to call it homeless poo crime fire dry land goings ons. All right, that just
Okay.
about covers it. So California, it has an insanely diverse
LGO.
climate type. But in general, you got super dry summers and wet, depending, winters. And you got a lot of rain in the northern part of the state and not a lot of rain in the southern part of the state. So why do more people live in the southern part of the state?
better
Because
weather.
the land was cheap, and the military something. I don't know.
Mhm.
there's
Yeah,
there's a lot of reasons.
there's a lot of reasons. One of them being that the 20th century was the wettest century in recorded history. But that even sans climate change, that was still an anomaly. So where are we now? But who manages how the water gets to where? So the State Water Project, it's when Ronald Reagan, well, no, it was before Ronald Reagan, he had something to do with it. But a lot of people said, you know what? People in Southern California, against better judgment, need water to survive. I didn't want them to have water to survive, but unfortunately they do. So they're basically taking water from the Northern Sierra and giving it to people in Los Angeles, unfortunately.
So they just dug a bunch of canals?
Dug a bunch of canals, dammed up a bunch of reservoirs that
Okay.
now looked comically empty this summer.
Yeah.
The State Water Project was literally ready to tell California with a straight face that it would be making 0% of its deliveries next year. But we got
deliveries, as in water?
as in
Water.
you were not going to get any water from the State Water Project, the thing that is meant to give water to most of Southern California.
Oh, good.
But enough rain and snow has happened this month that it looks like it might just be in the tens.
Wow. 10%
Yeah.
of your no
It
no
just-
showers, no anything.
Yeah, don't-
it
don't
drizzled
shower.
today. So,
Ooh.
so I felt fine taking a 6-minute shower.
You're gonna have Governor Newsom roll up with a $500 fine pretty soon.
You know what? Gabby can go ahead and try.
No, what he's gonna do, he's gonna be too busy giving a 7-hour like mayoral address somewhere.
Well, he's just gonna be spinning that big ball of lottery numbers to see who gets like a gallon of distilled water for cooking.
He is spinning the big lottery numbers in Dodgers Stadium while California Stars plays in the background.
I'm honestly surprised that Gavin Newsom has not capitalized on the fact that he is Joanna Newsom's cousin more.
That
Because of
really?
that.
Yes.
Who is that?
You've told me that before. Every time you say that, I'm like, wait, the person that I have like albums from?
Yeah. Joanna
Dang.
Newsom, she plays the harp. She's very famous with people around Charlie's age and my age.
We have like I would have no idea who that was except for my partner Kennedy. Like we have the album YS on vinyl.
Uh-huh.
That's what we got.
Very
That's the one I
nice.
know. That's all. Well, that sucks.
Like your choices for California governor being a former movie star who has no idea, who doesn't know anything about politics, or someone who does know something about politics but does it wrong.
Yeah, that's literally
a
all of our
harpist's shitty brother.
There we go.
cousin, but still.
Oh, cousin. Sorry.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
not even. Oh, damn it.
Yeah,
So-
see, there's enough plausible deniability there.
Unfortunately, between the LA Basin and the Central Valley, you've got the San Gabriel Mountains.
Mhm.
And
I used to live
California,
over
in its
there.
infinite wisdom, says the only way we're going to get water over it is if we have the second most energy intensive pump plant in the world lifting it over the mountains.
you
So
could
that's
just
exactly what they do.
you could just dig a tunnel.
Well, you could just dig a tunnel, except it's on an active fault line, so they didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe you should stop building there.
Well, we'll get into that because that's actually the active fault lines make up a lot of California's water.
I'm just saying, like, if you like, okay, fine, maybe you don't dig a tunnel, maybe you meander it around in the best way you can. You dig slow. Also, if you just let the water do its thing, water erodes shit. It'll get there.
Well,
Yes, Southern California.
Charlie, that would
The State Water Project
Charlie,
will
that
be making your deliveries in checks notes 13 million years.
Well,
yeah, Charlie, I would say that is the normal thing. There are 3 rivers in Los Angeles that used to feed all of the LA County area outside of LA.
Now
with
they
water.
just drain it.
Well, so there's
but now it just looks
the-
really ugly and it's concrete.
Well, there's the
It's like-
Rio Hondo, which does still have a little bit of trickling water. The San Gabriel River, which I used to live by, and it's there kind of. And then there's the LA River, which is where they drag race in Greece.
okay.
As the
It's-
car goes,
because it's
it goes
paved over.
flying up.
Well, why?
Yeah.
Why? Where did these rivers go? Is this like shit that like
No, they
we're
go
sti-
into the ocean.
right?
The
But
pave-
they paved them
paved-
over.
The
They
paved
paved-
overness is actually really important because the LA basin is just a big slab of concrete. So even if you get a little rain, you want that thing to be concrete lined. Otherwise, all of the neighborhoods along the river are going to be gone.
You know, the Tongva never really had to worry about that too much.
Yeah, I guess
No.
not for that one. So I included this slide when I found out, but the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, we had this on our SoCal Water Policy one, but basically this is everyone's water in Southern California comes from here. So all of these water districts buy and sell water from each other, and then they try to exploit the poorest neighborhoods by jacking up their prices during peak seasonal demand to try to make money for themselves.
Oh, good. They've
looking
They've learned to gerrymander water.
Yes.
I'm looking at all of the places I've lived at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who owns these? Just like a gerrymandering, who owns the various properties doesn't really matter. The result's going to be the same. Really, Southern California has two main inflows. So the Colorado River Aqueduct and then the State Water Project.
Yeah,
Both
I was
of them
about
come in.
I was about to ask, like, are we screwing you with our Colorado River water?
Oh no,
From
we
here?
screwed you.
Oh.
We screwed you. And that goes back like over 100 years.
Well,
Oh, you're the
not-
reason we have droughts.
Not necessarily that region, because the thing is, the Colorado River Aqueduct just takes all of the water before it gets to Mexico.
Right.
So
That's yeah.
You're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
People in Mexico or below California, so basically all of Arizona and the entire Southwest, no.
Like I literally
they did purposely make sure that it did not get into Mexico. The water.
Yeah, we covered this a lot more on our episode about the Colorado River, but California funded most of the development along the river, so they were entitled to more of the share, which at the time, at the 60s, you know, everyone was doing drugs. So like, you know, this isn't going to be a problem. And then it was a problem.
Yeah.
You know, most times people say this isn't going to be a problem. That's not.
It's probably going to be a problem at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
What you mean is we'll be gone.
Yeah.
Not a problem for me.
I really hate it.
Also-
that at least for the Zoomers, we totally missed the fuck around century, and then now we're born right at the beginning of the find out century.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but that, yeah. And the us two millennials on your podcast we got the end of the fuck around century and the
They just
beginning
know-
of the find out century, in which our entire childhoods we were told about all the fucking around we're going to get to do, and it just couldn't be believed based on what you saw in the world. And we were right.
Right.
Also, I just want to say that there's a lot of things that really sort of like light a fire in my heart that like makes me want to do some sort of like hot-headed revolutionary action that I won't specify. But it grinds my gears to the point where I want to do something I can't say on the show, or you'll get taken off of YouTube. But
yes,
like,
thank you.
one of the
yeah, we want to. We're see. Declan and I, we're trying to get into college, and we want to use this podcast as a little bit of a way to do that. So if you could not talk about all of the terrible things you're gonna do to Elon Musk before I put in my 1 kilohertz beep, that'd be excellent.
Okay. Well, all I'm saying is a thing that actually genuinely, like, I have like an energy in my heart right now that hurts is the thought of diverting the Colorado River so that it doesn't cross a national border. Like,
Well,
I literally that's the kind of thing you would fucking like.
Well,
that makes me want to destroy this.
Well,
this
Charlie,
thing.
I have something to tell you. I actually had to pull the book. I have it right here with me because as a Californian, we have to do a lot of California history, and even in university. This is in Power, Control in the Imperial Valley by Benny J. Andres Jr. Very good book. Very good book.
Cool.
Yes. So I don't remember the name of the company, but there was a company that some Anglos from the East Coast came over here to try and get water from the Colorado River over to the Imperial Valley. And they worked with like rich Mexicans.
The All-American Canal.
Yeah, because but they had to work with the rich Mexicans because Mexico had a law that like foreign companies couldn't work or couldn't like start businesses in Mexico. So they like they promised that these waterways would go through, but they didn't.
Oh.
Also, these
Ah.
these rich Mexicans once did own the haciendas in California, like the rancheros and
Yeesh.
stuff. So yeah, it's turtles of shitty people all the way down.
I mean, that's like what I expect, and like I feel the same thing when I like it's like I've seen the videos of like Colorado River making it to Mexico for like, you know, trickles for the first time in a decade or something here and there, when it just happens like once in a blue moon, and it makes me so furious. But there's nothing nothing makes me want that People's Army more, you know.
The thing about the Colorado River is that even during the most piddling wet seasons, if there wasn't the development that there was along it, there would be like catastrophic flooding. It's a river that it's like the Nile. It's a historically flooding river during the wet season. So a lot of this development was meant to quell that, which it did, but they overcorrected.
And then they sold it, made a
Yes.
shit ton of money off of it.
My favorite story about the All-American Canal is up until about 20 years ago, it was leaking. And what Mexican people on the border would do is they would install wells to capture that leaking water.
Oh hell yeah.
That's a pretty astute, that's pretty on the nose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway. Oh, so now let's get into the history. So we're starting here at the redneck agenda. I'm very proud of this.
Hanging
The-
chads. That's
the
so
hanging
fucking funny.
Oh my god.
Didn't you say you wanted this to be on YouTube?
What do you mean I don't want it to be funny? I have 3 giga chats on there. And then the guy auditing the really funny looking guy auditing the Florida ballots.
It looks like the old crusty villain from Ratatouille reading through the letter.
Yeah, Ego.
Yeah.
Like
No, Ego's the critic, is he?
Yeah, he's the critic. Wait,
No, I'm
what-
talking about the short dude that
he looks like the
Ling-
he looks like the
like
critic.
opens up the
Yeah.
letter that Linguini is Gusto's son and tries burning it.
Oh, shame on you! You only know the memes.
No, I watched the movie.
His name? What's his
the-
name? Tell me his
haven't-
name.
I asked you.
Say
What do you
his
mean?
name.
Tell me what his name is. I asked you what his name is.
It's Chef Skinner.
Do I care?
I haven't watched this
I mean,
movie. I
yeah,
don't fucking
because you're
care.
asking
I have
me what
not
the name is.
either.
It is a masterwork. You must be required to watch.
It's a master class in how to write a movie.
Yes,
I avoid Disney like the plague.
Me too.
but
That was Disney before they were
Ratatouille, you
as
gotta
big.
watch Ratatouille. You just gotta watch
I-
Ratatouille.
It'll
I
happen
watched-
incidentally.
Yeah, I had to watch Coco for a Latin film class, and I was
Coco
like,
wasn't
I feel like my emotions have been hijacked.
Yes, they are hijacked by Coco. So yeah, I thought it would be only appropriate to swipe a Green Day lyric, seeing as how much they swiped from the Clash. But well, you look at George Bush's approval rating, 90%. Shoddy,
Yeah,
Joe
it's like,
Biden.
wow,
can't even
this
manage
it's
half
a
of that.
weird. God, there's that weird jump in there. What the fuck is that about?
So it's an
What could
interesting
that
jump.
be?
What? Okay, class. What might have happened?
I'm gonna say the economy got really good somehow.
I think Apple's stock price went up around 2001.
I mean, I guess the
Mili-
economy did get really good somehow, given
Yeah,
how generally we
military
make the
spending-
money.
Military spending went really high up at about the same time. Anyway,
I wonder
moving
what
on.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Very weird.
about around this time,
Oh,
the good people of California chose to do this: elect a Arnold Schwarzenegger as their governor after this happened to California energy prices, the California energy price scandal.
You know, I didn't get a whole lot of good jokes in when that happened. I remember it. I don't really have any now, I guess. I just like what a Schwarzenegger movie of a thing that happened in real life.
The Governator was probably my favorite one.
That one, oh, that was just so grating to me.
It's
Yeah.
But
very
I was
weird
I was
to
like,
have
when was this?
2003.
this was
2003,
Yeah, I was in middle
2002.
school.
2002. I was in middle school. Yeah, like
mhm.
I mean, no, I was just like, no, see, now I'm thinking it through, and I'm like, why wasn't this more fun? Oh, the time I got really, really depressed, and then that was just bad. That's why I didn't feel anything. I remember. It has nothing to do with the world.
So, in classic conservative form, Governor Schwarzenegger described himself as a fiscal conservative and social liberal, which basically just means I'm a conservative.
Oh God, do people still say that in high school?
Yes.
When we were in high school, that was what everyone said to sound like they had politics. Like even I said it because I didn't have politics, and I don't know.
Oh yes, of course.
I don't think I ever said that I was fiscally conservative because I was like, I don't have money.
Well, I don't think I said I was fiscally conservative because I didn't want to say I was conservative, but I definitely was like, I don't know. I can see the benefit of a balanced budget, not really understanding that like money printer just can go burr.
Money printer can go burr.
Money printer doesn't even need to go burr. Like computer can go click clack, and there's now more money.
I can have
just
crypto.
Put a Bloomberg
Karl
terminal
Marx
in.
on his deathbed when he realizes he forgot to account for crypto and gaming. Well, no, but he did. He he has a chapter in one of his books called "Credit and Fictitious Capital."
Yeah, no, I'd say he definitely got crypto.
He accounted for crypto in the Sigma grind set. So here are some of the Governator's accomplishments: blocked gay marriage twice, blocked healthcare reform for a single-payer healthcare system, no driver's license for illegal immigrants. He was named as one of 11 worst governors in U.S. history, which I personally don't believe because 4 of the last 7 governors of the great state of Illinois have gone to prison. So those
but that's
better
like
be on there.
But by going to prison, you become better. Like
I mean, I guess, but like, Illinois is not really more corrupt. We just have the balls to put our corrupt governors in prison.
I mean, that's good. But I'm saying,
I-
if Schwarzenegger was currently in prison, people would think of his term much more fondly because the story wrapped up nice.
But no one really remembers it. It's the problem.
I don't know. Like, I moved out of California in like 1991. I was born in Silicon Valley, and we got the fuck out of there because my dad was like, I could not possibly work in tech with what this is becoming. And then we went to Colorado. So like, I have no memory of anything there.
And I still live here. But yeah, the life under Schwarzenegger was very weird, especially in hindsight, where
like life under Schwarzenegger was very weird.
Well, I mean, a lot of my friends' parents couldn't drive them to school anymore, and they had to start walking. Because a lot of my friends' parents didn't have documents. And as someone who is an immigrant, that seems also very weird in hindsight. Like, nowadays, undocumented people can get driver's license. It's just safer.
And he left office with an approval rating no less than 23%.
Wow.
Yeah, no one did like him.
Trump got like 30 something.
Yeah, Trump was at like 35 or 36 when he left.
And he was married to a Kennedy.
He was. Anyway, interestingly enough, being governor of California kind of rubbed off on him. And even he described that he became much more liberal throughout his governorship and the time after.
Oh, gee, I wish you had done that before you tried.
Yeah, maybe if you did that before. I can't believe he got reelected though, was the weirder part.
Look, I'm not upset that he might be a little better of a person after the experience, but if the experience you have to have in order to become a better person is like being the governor, fuck you, go home. Stop being the governor. The rest of us can figure it out without being the governor.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are other ways to evolve on a subject.
Spending
$10,000 to get onto the ballot.
The celebrity had to be so extra that he had to become governor of California for 8 years to become more liberal instead of just reading theory like a normal person.
No, personally punching the ring out of gay couples' hands several thousand times really has evolved me to think that wasn't a good idea.
See, I don't know what it is like in other states because I've only ever lived here, but like the governor's race every time, whether it's a recall or it's just the race, is literally a shit show. You have the
Yes.
weirdest fucking people coming out of the woodwork. You have like I think during this recall, everyone was pointing out that not only did we had 3 actors, because one of them was a porn star.
That's
The other one was Gary Coleman.
most talented acting of all.
Exactly. I mean,
Gary Coleman?
of course she was. No, she was a straight woman, so yeah,
Okay.
definitely very talented.
Yeah.
At the porn acting.
Yeah.
But like this last time in the recall, we had fucking Angeline. I don't know if you know who Angeline is. She's
No.
this
No,
like,
I'm not 30, so
no, but Angeline, she's like an idol, like almost like a mysterious idol here in Los Angeles or the Los Angeles area. She drives like a pink Camaro or something. And
Ooh.
she's like an actor and a singer. She actually just recently released a new anthem for California. And
California has an anthem.
yeah, every state has an anthem.
See,
she
Thank
had-
God we don't have to know it.
the anthem in Illinois is going to be like some type of drill music.
we had to fucking sing the Texas anthem on our podcast at one point, and
What's
we
the
just
Colorado anthem?
I don't fucking know. I've never even thought
gonna look
about
this up.
that. I'm looking it up too.
Illinois anthem. Please be like something real. Please be like a Lil Yachty song or something.
Colorado anthem. Oh, not healthcare. God damn it.
Yeah, I'm only getting
Song.
healthcare too. Across it.
Where the
Ours-
anthem of
California's
Colorado?
currently is-
I'm not sure how
California's
far
currently
word
is I Love You,
carries
California.
about insane Illinois politicians, but have you heard about Art Jones?
No.
Yes. Okay, so you can explain this one. You can do it justice.
Art Jones is basically he's this guy. I'm gonna leave the lead. I'm gonna leave the big punchline until the very end. He is a perennial candidate. He has been unsuccessfully running 7 or 8 times. He hasn't won an election at all ever, and he started running in the 80s. He does get oftentimes a lot of votes
Order
just
of the vote.
because he's listed on the
Republican.
Republican Party. The problematic part is he's a neo-Nazi and a Holocaust denier.
God.
And when
My favorite thing was when the local news like interviewed him outside of an Applebee's, like in the middle of winter. He was like this man's so old, but he said something like, whenever people go into the white neighborhood, they destroy it. And the like it was like Lester Holt or something. It wasn't Lester Holt. It was like some African American interview. It was like, that's a racist thing to say, right? And he was like, yeah.
yeah, and
All right.
like the funniest part is that he will often get tens of thousands of votes. Like the 2018 3rd congressional district election, he got 57,000 votes. That's a quarter of the ballot. And you say, he's a Holocaust denier. He's a neo-Nazi. He's like 80 years old.
He's in
He's
his
the only
90s.
Republican on the ballot.
God.
Arthur Jones age. This man is ancient. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. It's a
Arthur
different
J.
one.
Jones is the one you're looking for.
Art.
Well, while you're looking that up, I just want you to know that the Colorado
74.
Colorado
that?
anthem is Where the Columbines Grow, written in like 1911, which is a piano tune.
That's
I'm gonna show you I'm gonna read a comment on the
You hear me?
YouTube video of the Illinois.
no, I heard you. Charlie.
Okay.
No, I was reflecting on where the Columbines grow.
Oh, I
where
get
do
it.
The Columbines grow.
No.
Oh, I get it.
Okay,
Oh,
so
also, I just want you. The second thing is we decided instead of replacing that like jaunty piano tune from 1911 with Rocky Mountain High by John Denver in 2007, we just said, they're both the state song.
And you know what? I'm on board with that.
That's
one.
fine with that. Like, it's a good song. Who doesn't like little John Denver?
I don't, but like I'm.
I
Still
mean,
fine.
I don't either, but like if you put it on, I'd be like, well, isn't that something?
And, I mean, it's better than any of the math rock that's going to be it in like 50 years.
Yeah.
we got so from a comment on the Illinois national anthem, it is a beautiful song, brings tears to my eyes every time I hear it. Happy 200th birthday, Illinois. You are still the great state of Illinois, and to all of us who remain here should be willing to work every day to make it the greatest state in the union. This reads like a
that's not-
Trump tweet.
And to
We
all
do
a good
have
night.
Okay.
We do have much to be proud of if we stop focusing on politics and instead focus on the people, the land, and our shared proud history. Here's to 200 more amazing years. The best is yet to come if you are willing to work hard for it and believe.
If that's not proof of the empty internet theory, I don't know what is. Because there's no way a real person would write that.
Well, there's a reply to it. What's the reply? The reply says, I remember the bicentennial a couple weeks ago. My class gave it a B-Day party. All right.
Oh my god.
See, I really just
Interesting.
think the reason we think the internet is empty because when we look at it, our brain just sort of autocorrects everyone on the internet to be within like 5 years of our own age.
Yeah,
but like
pretty much.
no, like all of these comments could be written by elementary schoolers who are like 7, and it's like a class project to like see this video, leave a comment about how cool Illinois is on it, and then you all gather around, do a big class thing because it's Illinois Day or some shit.
So moving on. So Grandpa Joe, the Grandpa Joe saga, Grandpa Joe Volume 1. This is the one wedding ring Governor Schwarzenegger could not shake. And that was between Obama and look at how happy they look together. Look at that smile, that ear to ear grin.
They look like they just got some Pinkberry and they're really enjoying it.
I would say having that kind of smile next to Joe Biden really
That's difficult.
supports the empty Obama theory.
A really difficult smile to have next to Obama. And then here's Ted Cruz giving the best filibuster since Charles Sumner got hit in the head with a cane.
The Sumner affair.
Making the face I would be making if I was next to Joe Biden.
This is him about to read The Cat in the Hat during his 21-hour overnight filibuster to his daughters on C-SPAN.
Well, I'm glad that's in the congressional record, I guess.
It is 21 hours. 21 hours. And he was animated at the end of it. I gotta give him credit. He drank like some coffee halfway through, but he was going. He spoke really slowly too. He read it took him like 5 minutes to read Cat in
See,
the Hat.
that's very unlike my grandpa who hated reading Dr. Seuss and would just like speed
The
through
wheel.
them so quickly and just we would be like, wait, you did what? He's like, it's over. Okay, bye.
All right, hop on Pop. Don't have okay. It looks like they hopped on the Pop.
Yep,
They-
pretty much.
The Pop has been hopped on.
Rest in peace, Gramps.
Rest in power. All right. So some things that happened during Grandpa Joe and Barack Obama's first term. The Affordable Care Act. Okay, good. I guess.
Yeah, good enough. I mean,
Good stuff.
not good enough, but something.
Right direction. Yeah. Kind of
It's,
pulled us.
well, see, that's the thing. I'm not gonna relitigate shit from when I was in high school, but like, well, right after high school, but just like fucking, it's like the only reason we say it's in the right direction is because like
It wasn't completely
it was
terrible.
worse. Well, because it was like so much worse.
Yeah.
But also they made a thing that was much better that they promised. And then they went the entire wrong direction with it the entire time. And then they gave it to us as it was at the end and said, look, we went in the right direction. And I'm like, that's really not what it feels like to anyone.
And then
Damn.
let's see what else happened. They pulled anyone out of the 2008 financial crisis who was over the age of 25 at the time.
So no,
Not me.
No millennials, no Zoomers.
yeah. Anyone who already owned a house, but not most of them actually.
Yes.
Mhm.
If you owned a house on the east or west coast, you might have been okay.
Yeah, no, I did during that period, one of the jobs I did for a temp agency was receiving in the mail paperwork that people sent in to the foreclosure forgiveness program and then filing it in a gigantic, like they just bought out a floor of an empty building, mostly empty building in the Interlochen Center, because Interlochen was a dying company near my house, and we just filed that paperwork for home foreclosures. And then we filed more paperwork, and I'd see the same people. Like we
there's there's a bunch of like colleagues of mine who are just maybe about 10 or 15 years older than me who got their houses during this time. Especially here in the Orange County area where surprise, surprise, a lot of the Black and brown people lost their homes.
Yeah.
We have a huge homelessness issue here in Orange County because of that.
Well, I was the one who was responsible for taking the paperwork they had and putting it in a folder, and then going and getting that paperwork and handing it off to someone who knew what to do with it. And then they would presumably just call your friend and say, we don't have all the right papers. And then they would come back to me and say, like, look for this paper. Also, file these in there. And I'd be like, can I have the original paperwork back? And they'd be like, no, we sent that to someone else. They're going to be resubmitting it. And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
It was just fucking hell. Like that radicalized me a little bit, just a little bit.
All right. So around this time, California was descending into one of its worst extended droughts in the history of
the 1910s.
Yes. No, not that one. Not the 1910s. Got back and forward a little bit. So you thought the map this summer looked bad? This is what it looked like at the height of the drought.
Yeah, it was
Sheesh.
bad. Oh, look at me, right? I was living in LA County at this time too. Just doesn't matter though. Just deep red.
Yes, this is the only time that California was a deep red state for that time period. Anyway, so this is a map of
it's just something cruel about living near a bunch of salt water while there's a drought.
Yeah, the irony is not lost on me, and the fact that it's hella humid every morning.
Well, I grew up
just literally.
I grew up in
The air is thick with mist every morning on the coast. So like,
because I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley, and at this time I lived in the San Gabriel Valley.
I'm sorry.
The heat there, because it is like it just picks up when the air comes down off the mountains, it just picks up all of the heat. And so when it finally hits you, when you catch a breeze, you're like, oh yay, it's 101 degree breeze.
Yeah.
You're like
so like this summer,
and it's bone dry.
Is there like a startup in California for like tattooing moisture farmers yet? Is that a thing?
No, yeah, your guess. Yes. 100% yes. I'm not kidding.
Okay. I assume
on the coast pulling moisture out of the air when it's wet in the mornings to like water things.
Okay. Okay.
But so I biked down the West Coast from Portland to San Francisco this summer. It was weird. It basically being homeless simulator because I was outside for 3 weeks straight. But anyway, when we were in about Mendocino County, you go inland off 101. It was so hot.
It's hot up there.
So hot. Like it was fine on the coast, it was like 50 degrees on the coast, but once you got over the first set of mountains, it was so hot.
Yeah. No, as soon as you get inland at all in California, it's hot. It's bone dry. It's hot. Well, some parts of it are pretty humid, but over here it's bone dry and it's hot because it's a valley. Essentially the entire state is basically a valley.
Yeah.
So it's hot.
Yeah,
it's terrible. I love it.
This is a map of
leaving.
snowpack.
What's snow?
Oh,
I'm
God,
sorry.
that's pathetic.
Snowpack is how much snow is packed in the Sierra, which is pretty important. And this number is percent of normal by the end of the wet season, and then this number is percent of normal for this date. So around now, whatever, January 23rd, 2014, you should have most of your rain. They're at a cool 4, 8, and 8% respectively for different regions.
Yeesh.
That was one of the
Cool.
worst years of the drought. That was when towns would literally need to move because it got so bad.
No, yeah, it was pretty bad. I grew up in a city that has its own reservoir up in the valley, up in the San Gabriel Valley.
If you name it, I can probably tell you what it is.
I'm not gonna name it. I can't dox myself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant that's where you grew up. Oh,
No, that is where I grew up, but
Yeah.
I also work. I work there
never
too.
mind. Don't worry about
So-
it.
No, it doesn't matter. It's well known for having its like people can figure it out just by me giving that like
telling that much information, but no, I don't actually work there. We were afraid that we were just going to run out of water,
Yeah.
which would have been the first time in history that reservoir had no water.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw my friend's mom take picture, like a before and after picture, and I was like, oh, this was like this was a couple of years. She's like, no, this was over the summer. Like,
Jesus.
holy shit. And like the water was nearly gone. Like the because you can go up to the reservoir and you can swim in it and whatever. It was like the the shore had gone in like 15 feet.
Oh,
There was like no water. I was like,
so weird.
oh, oops. Oh, but of course, all of the golf course that is in the city that I
Oh, it was green as hell, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was green as hell. And the one good thing is that the Christian university that's in the city did decide, after a lot of hemming and hawing, that they would turn off the sprinklers finally.
Oh, thank
And
goodness.
the parents of all of the rich kids who went there got very pissed that their kids were going to a yellow school, like a yellow grass school.
Oh, can't have that. Property values are going to go down.
Imagine that being your primary concern in life. It's like, my children are going to a school where things are sometimes brown.
Oh,
That's
no,
not what I
we
meant,
live in-
but oh shit. Never. That is no,
Charlie,
that's the
that is
problem.
100. That is
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
There
I
we
think
go.
that's
that was
it.
a double
Totally
entendre. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh no, I live in an actual desert and I can't have my carpet green Midwest grass.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
like
okay,
I'm
most of them-
100% convinced that during the LA basin population boom, like post World War II, a lot of people coming from the Midwest and the East Coast brought that green grass aesthetic with them. And then now it's like, it's not the Midwest. You got to let that go.
No, you have to let it go.
It's really a bummer that California grows most of our crops and has these water problems. Seems like we could do that elsewhere.
Yes,
Solve a lot of it.
it would solve a lot of it. How about don't have farmland in the middle of a desert, have farmland where there's actually water.
Where it rains.
Where it rains, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
So
It rains in the Central Valley where a lot of the stuff grows, kind of sometimes.
maybe once a
Almost
year.
never.
Well,
Almost
I'm not
never.
saying you have to stop growing stuff. Just stop growing our entire country's produce.
Yeah, but do you want almonds, right?
Yeah, do
Can't
you
get
like your
almonds.
Good.
Pecans?
Then grow some fucking nuts and just
Oranges. Everywhere in California is known for fucking oranges.
you can
Lettuce
grow oranges
everywhere in
elsewhere.
No, but they're not going to be as good as ours.
70%
fuck it,
of
I
the
don't
nation's
care.
fresh fruits and vegetables.
I live in Colorado. Like, we're not supposed to have an orange. Like, maybe you could do it.
I'm supposed to have scurvy.
No, we
Yeah,
have fucking
I-
peaches and shit. Like,
You
let
made
us
your
do
choice
that.
to live in Colorado. Now you need to suffer the consequences.
Just eat what grows here and then have a nifty railroad network to bring in some neat stuff seasonally. Like, it seems fine.
What grows in Colorado?
Like, lots of shit.
Name one.
Probably.
I named
Name one
peaches
thing that grows in
already.
Colorado.
I named peaches. I'll name cactus. I'll name most peppers. I'll name
Walnuts.
fucking beans, apples,
Colorado.
yeah.
Colorado beans.
yeah,
Colorado
beans,
beans.
apples, lots of legumes, tubers.
I mean, this is perfect for you. You're
Guys,
Boil them,
vegetarian.
mash them, stick
Yeah.
them in a stew.
Yeah, exactly. You could be doing that.
You could be boiling them and mashing them and maybe sticking them in a stew.
I could have a goddamn stew right now, but here I am talking about water policy in California.
Anyway, the reason why this happened was because of persistent La Nina years, which is a high pressure dome in the Pacific Ocean that pushes storms track north.
I got some high pressure dome for you right here.
This is distinguished from an El Nino year, which happens when the high pressure track is up here and then the storms go down there, and that's what causes Los Angeles to become a swamp.
Yeah, there was a time.
Oh.
There was a time. It was like 1998, where it rained for like 3 months straight, and that was an El Nino year. We're like, is it ever gonna stop raining? We walked to
Yeah.
school, so like we were always in galoshes. The
So the
only
la-
time I ever had like a raincoat.
The last El Nino year was in 2019, and in the Midwest, that means cold. So in the Midwest, we had a week where it was -50 and -60
Oof.
with the wind chill.
That-
School was canceled,
nuh-uh.
not because there was too much snow, but because the fuel lines in the buses froze.
That's too cold. Like things.
It-
That's too cold.
It was too cold.
What year
That-
was
that
this?
was- This was 2019.
2019. Yeah, that might be the year it snowed like 7-8 feet or something in Denver. That was a good year. I was parked illegally and I didn't have to move that car for like a month.
Fuck.
Nice.
This is so wild to me. It's
Denver
like,
police digging you out just so they can give you a parking ticket.
Right. No, I was surprised they actually said we're going to suspend ticket collection on parking for a few weeks. And I'm like, no shit.
Cool.
I mean, they couldn't get there either. So,
But we'll get into why in a few slides how California went from this to this in one wet season.
mhm.
2017, one for the history books. Anyway, farmers not farming. During that drought, you couldn't really farm. That was a problem.
Yeah.
And you got some interesting literature. So we got no water equals no jobs. But my favorite one is stop dumping 78% of our water in the ocean, which is kind of true. I honestly like the Make California Great Again sign. Some interesting
So
foresight
get rid of
there.
get rid of all the Anglos.
Yes.
I'm who is paid for by Gar Bennett LLC. I'm looking up who that is.
But yeah, California was great before there were like white folk here.
Mm. Yeah, they didn't really have many forest fires before then, did they?
I mean, they
Well,
did, but they were
did. They were
controlled.
good. They were controlled because they
Yeah.
actually knew how to do them.
Yeah, the local native groups knew how to control the fires.
So anyway, pretty much all of California's water goes through the San Joaquin Delta at some point. And where all the water from the State Water Project comes from is it's pumped out of here. Now, this is very important both for salmon migration, for all those farms here, because they're all floodplain. For a ton of reasons, this needs to have a lot of water in it. So a lot of water needs to go out the Carquinez Strait and eventually out to the ocean. So that pisses off people who see water going in there. It's like, duh, water not going to my farm is bad.
No,
But no.
water going to other farm.
Water going to the place it was supposed to go and supporting the ecosystem that it was supposed to support for millions of years.
I was
Is
like,
good.
water does need to go into the ocean, folks. Like,
We can't just keep it here, you know.
No, you don't get it. We're going to build a wall in front of the ocean. We're going to keep the water here. We're going to drink it. We're going to piss it out. And we're going to just, I don't know. We're going to empty one of the Great Lakes and make it where we put the waste.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like we're Dutch or something over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had like a pretty lengthy discussion on that in our Sea Level Rise episode. We talked about the Dutch's projects to try to save
How they-
their
How they want to
country.
just destroy the ocean.
It's the Dutch launching nukes into the ocean, not realizing they're making tsunamis. It's like, Heinz, we have accidentally made the ocean ein Tsunami Bergen.
Well, my favorite thing is anytime you ever talk about the Dutch, is like the solution is just getting a little boy to stick a finger in the dike. That's all you need to worry about.
Yeah. That little boy was me.
God, Charlie, I love you so much.
Wait, wasn't that like their legend on how they got the dam to stop leaking?
Yes.
Yes.
I think we need to move on from that bit.
I'm just making a gay joke. That's all.
Charlie is very gay.
Understandable. Have a great day. So, and then around this time, a certain man was making America Trump again.
Ooh.
And the
Oh,
comment,
this is-
Trump.
this
I
is
forgot about
cringe.
this. Oh my
this,
God.
this certain pizzeria,
I've never seen a picture of it. That's
you haven't? Okay.
no.
So
Huh.
sinister.
The Comet
Neither have I,
Pizzeria.
actually.
Really? Okay. My favorite story was some guy went in there with a gun and demanded to see the basement. He saw the
Uh-huh.
basement.
Yeah.
Saw that it was just like some wages making pizza, and then went up and then turned himself into the police.
Yeah, just like, hey, I'm just a concerned citizen
He
checking
just
on.
wanted to see.
Wait, oh my god.
I'm making sure it was only 15 and up people being exploited for non-sexual reasons.
Yes.
I'm just noticing that there is a crescent moon and star on here that had something to do with the conspiracy, didn't
Oh,
it?
had to, yeah.
absolutely. I didn't hear about that, but yeah.
That had something
But
to do with it. Oh
never
no.
never in my life, I will never understand how this alone was not the end of it.
That's what I'm saying.
How
What do you
this the Trump mocks reporter with disability, him making that face.
Trump doing
I
that
mean-
should have been the end of it.
Like it should have been the
What
like,
are you kidding?
when he-
America loves that shit.
when Trump, like, people have been ousted from presidential primaries for way less than that. Biden like accidentally ripping off a few lines of someone's speech got him canned from the primary.
I don't know how.
But you're comparing him to a Democrat. Like the whole party structure and like how you can exploit it is so different.
How does
Oh,
Obama wearing a tan suit like make the DEFCON scale lower than this?
Yeah, and it's like this should have been the end of
suit
it.
was really ugly. The suit
Yeah, well,
was.
it was.
Yeah.
It was a
yeah.
terrible fit, but this dude's mocking a disabled person.
It's like he was like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm saying." I'm like, but like it was like that should have been the end of it.
But like
Oh.
that's the kind of piece of shit that people are. Like
Yeah, it's
like
really,
like I hate like that's why people call Trump populist, and then I'm like, what does that mean when you say that? Are you sure? It's because they see Trump mocking someone with disability, and you're like, I know so many shitty people who are like that. That's populism. And
Well,
I'm
like,
like,
what's
you don't.
even-
No,
what's
it's
even-
not.
what's even weirder is like just trying to like square the circle of being like to like talking to my mom being like, so you saw Trump imitate someone with a disability, like,
I did.
you know, your godson who is disabled, and she's like, yeah, you know, he's not perfect. I'm like,
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Bitch,
That's
like,
exactly what I'm saying.
Maybe we should.
That's what people are doing.
We should hold
I-
our public figures to higher standards than that. Just maybe.
Look. No. Well, okay. One, it's
Like,
not that we should; it's that we can't. Like, we don't
Yeah.
really get a say in that shit. But second, I was doing deliveries for like I did medical deliveries for eyeglass and dental work during that election, and
surely
I
you have
talked.
more weird jobs than I have.
It doesn't feel like it. I've had like 3. One of them was a Subway for a decade. Like, I feel like I've had 1. Regardless, I talked to everyone on my route about the election, and I'm like, I feel like this is gonna be bad for me, a trans person, and like, and then just talking about the thing, and the number one things I heard, because these are people who either work at or own like eyeglass places or are dentists and shit, and like the people who talked about it were just like either saying, "Oh no, I don't think he's actually going to be that bad in office. It's not like that,"
Yeah.
or 2, I don't know, like. You know, it's basically, I don't think he's going to be that bad, or like, it's what he's saying is not that bad. Everyone's like that. It's different than you. Like, you're making a big deal out of nothing. Like, and like, that's the thing is like, lives didn't get worse for a lot of people under Trump if we're talking about who votes.
Yes.
So,
But like
like,
the
Well,
thing-
especially if we're talking about people who don't vote, because you know, undocumented people and Muslims outside of the country certainly
yeah,
had their lives changed.
exactly.
And-
This is what I'm saying is that if you talk to the people who vote for Trump, they're just a bunch of suburban shitheads.
What
who are
really
like,
got
oh,
me-
it's kind of funny, and I felt guilty for laughing, but it's not gonna like turn into policy.
Yeah, what really got me is there's a quote from none other than Sideshow Bob that really describes what happened in the 2016 election, which was, because you need me, Springfield. Your guilty conscience may force you to vote Democratic, but deep down inside, you secretly long for a cold-hearted Republican to lower taxes, brutalize criminals, and rule you like a king.
Yes, that one. That's
Yeah.
the one. That's
It's
the
even
one.
funnier
And when I
'cause Kelsey Grammer is a Republican.
yes, and when I talk to people who like sell $400 glasses frames, they're just like, yeah, you know,
It's like,
I
well,
really think he's gonna make things great again.
that's
you
what
know?
really.
And I'm like,
that's
what does that
really
mean?
was interesting. So I in the 2020 election, I did a really long bike ride around most of like our wing of the Chicago suburbs, and it was like the amount of people that I saw out and about, like with Trump flags strung to their trucks who were wearing like full face masks so people couldn't see who they were. People who were like out in trucks putting Trump signs on like random people's lawns. And it was like, these are the people who voted for Trump. Everyone loves to have the hate has no home here thing there while they're like guiltily voting Republican. And it's like, what are you even doing?
That's a very like LA sort of way too, because people here are very like fiscally conservative.
Yes.
So
Yeah. No,
quite
and
a
that's
few people voted Trump without ever actually admitting that they did.
If you ever have
yeah.
if you ever have like an hour to kill, look up a very detailed map of the 2020 election, and it'll show you basically down to a few city blocks how people voted. It's really interesting.
Oh yeah, I live currently in an apartment building, a condo apartment, whatever it is. I guess it's condos because it's not like super tall, whatever. I don't know the distinction. It doesn't matter. We are surrounded by shitty McMansions. You look across the street and it's just a built to lot McMansion that is just 6 different architectural styles made out of like concrete coated fucking styrofoam plastered together into a house. And it's like one of the richest neighborhoods in the state. I think it is the richest neighborhood in the state, and we're just like in one of the 5 apartment buildings here. It's fucking weird. And they're horrible. The homes around here are incredible.
It's like,
the point is, it's like
Roman columns and a pagoda.
Yeah. And like, I know how this neighborhood voted. It's very clear. One time I got yelled at for taking down people's signs around the neighborhood by someone in a car. I was taking down the political signs that were advocating for making homeless people not allowed to like wear coats in the cold, basically. Like the thing that was literally, we want to help homeless people freeze to death.
Yeah.
Because like they're unhoused and that's a problem. So we should just solve that problem by eliminating it, which is around the time our governor was talking about like cleansing the streets. And it was real fucking, he's a Democrat. So like, Democrat,
that means it's okay.
Whatever.
Then.
Yeah. He's gay. He's killing them gaily. That's why they voted for him.
Was Jerry Brown gay?
I have no idea.
No.
Anyway, what I did is I would go around and then, when I saw the Trump like make America great again, I would write at the bottom for who and then question mark.
Ooh, subversive.
Well, no, because
I was talking about like our idle shitty political activists.
I've heard of people like booby trapping their Trump signs, and I was like, I didn't want to like pull it out because I want to know if like someone's like claiming it was in there.
That would be really something. Like blowing up
Navy SEAL puts Claymore hooked up to the Trump sign.
Just pulling the pin out of a grenade as you lift the "Make America Great Again" sign out of the ground, killing both.
I can't move. It's like Saving Private Ryan shit where I have to stand there holding the Trump sign while my partner goes off into the distance, and then like as they walk off, they just hear an explosion and then a tear falls from their cheek.
Or you barely survive by coaxing like the homeowner's dog over there and throwing the dog on the mine.
All right.
My God.
Anyway. Further into Trump's presidency, you had landslide season, which no, this is not from Louisiana. This is from Central Valley.
I was gonna say Houston.
Oh yeah,
whatever Texas is. I don't know where cities are.
We have in classic terrible California driver fashion, you have everyone on the I-5 treating it this washed out section like it's just a Tuesday, and they're just going.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't know how to drive.
California drivers, man. I'm sorry. I love California. It's a beautiful place, but you guys
you don't have to do that.
No. We don't suck. You just need to learn how to drive. I'm sorry.
I need to learn how to drive like a Californian. I don't know.
Which is incredibly aggressively.
See,
like,
people in Illinois, we at least have the decency. See, in Illinois, we at least have the decency to lean out of our window and say, "Oh, sorry," but before we do a hit and run. So we'll at least apologize.
Well, because you're so nice. You're so nice in the Midwest, I suppose.
No,
I swear to God,
rural Midwest is nice if you're a white evangelical male.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'm going to do like a cultural revolution where I re-educate everyone just to be like, no, shut up. You don't drive anymore. You go on the trains and nobody talks about driving anymore. We leave it to the
Yes.
professionals. None of you get to have this
Good
discussion.
race car drivers.
Chicago
No.
is like, people always say that the Chicago is part of the Midwest. Chicago is completely separate from the Midwest.
That I
Like,
don't.
culturally, socially, it is completely different.
Yeah, like I don't go
Yeah.
I don't go there much, but when I go east, if I drive through Chicago, that feels very different than driving through Indianapolis.
See, you're
like, I'm
lucky
driving-
that you're lucky that our co-host Zach is not on here, because Zach doesn't believe that like Zach doesn't believe that like North Carolina or Maryland are in the South.
Oh my God, okay, all right, okay. I got so much
Maryland's
beef.
in, like,
Maryland is not. Maryland's like almost like a southern border state.
it's like a border state, yeah. But North Carolina is like the side away in the south.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
that is definitely south.
The
but
south
like,
is a lot easier to describe as a region because it's just like, all right, which states
Where-
lost the war, you know?
okay, I'm
Yeah.
thinking, all right, okay. If Charlie and I went to these states, would we be run out of them?
I'm gonna be honest. I've never had any problems in any state as a trans person. I don't know what the rules are or when things would become terrible. Like, I've definitely got a radar for who I should definitely stay the fuck away from. But like, I've
And what
just
really
never had a
kills me-
problem anywhere driving through anywhere, and I assume that's just because I'm white. But I also like. I thought I was obviously trans, but people are starting to tell me I pass, and so I'm like, "Oh God, is
Yeah.
that what's happening?"
You've done it.
I don't know.
Not it.
I think that
He
like
did it, folks.
what really kills me is that the South and Appalachia are absolutely beautiful.
Oh God, yes.
And that's what sucks. It's like, why
Everything
are
in the U.S. is actually beautiful.
yeah,
Like,
why are like the most beautiful parts of America and like inhabited by the worst people?
It's because they have gold
Oh.
and then their hills.
well, yeah, because they're really fertile and you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Or manufacturing, because the gold. Yeah, no, we're just a cancer on this country, and
Yes.
maybe you should, as a way of doing reparations, just kick all the white people out. Like, they'll be fine.
Yeah,
Go.
I get.
No,
my
that's not
ranch back
true.
in
It's got to be
Texas.
it's got to be class based. We got to unite everyone.
Yes. Okay, so what I found most interesting about 2017 landslide season is that when the drought went from this to basically nothing, Jerry Brown's approval rating went up by a significant margin, literally just because
Yeah, no, we're done.
We
like
love
that.
Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown brings the rain.
this is like it's so stupid. I hate like running approval ratings because
Yeah.
it's like, wow, it rained and your approval rating went up.
Well, Jerry
Right,
Brown
literally-
has control of the water.
Yes, Jerry
Literally,
Brown.
you just go ahead.
Jerry Brown has a key for the Jewish space laser and stopped it so there wouldn't be a
Well,
wildfire season.
Like Storm, he too is a weather witch, and he can turn on and off the water.
I'd like to see Jerry Brown in the storm outfit.
I
wanna
would love
see-
that.
Yes.
That would be gay, to answer the question from earlier.
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so 101 got washed out in about 1 billion places. I'm sorry, I want you to clear something up for me,
Yes.
real quick, because you're a Southern California individual. So
That I am.
I've been told, I have some relatives in Northern California, that people in Southern California say the 101, and people in Northern
Mhm.
California say 101. But if someone goes, or like the 405 or something, but like if someone from Northern California lives in Southern California for a couple years, they'll go back to the north and call it the 101. So it's
Yeah.
like a disease.
Yes.
Is this true?
From my experience, yes, because
Okay.
and people who are originally from LA or like the Southern California area will never stop calling it the freeways and then the name the
Okay,
number
yeah,
of the
because
freeway.
Northern California they say just the number.
Mhm.
Okay, this is very interesting.
Mhm.
So
You just say
and,
the in front of it. It makes it so much. It sounds so much nicer.
I don't know. I gotta say I am a just say the number enjoyer.
Well,
No,
we-
but-
out
the-
here,
the 210, the 10.
well, out
60?
here, we always just like.
Well,
God, what do
No,
we
no,
do?
it's what I do is when I go to visit relatives in Wisconsin, I'll be like, oh, I need to hop on 94, and on the way I can see billboards about how interracial marriage is sin or something, and it's like, okay, why am I up here?
We just add like the letter in front of it here, like it's
Like
I-25
I.
and I-70 and stuff. Like,
Okay,
See, because we don't
Oh,
leave the
that's-
state. We do everything inside the state. We don't have to worry about leaving.
I don't think I've ever
Oh,
heard
to
someone
quote-
say
to quote
the
no
preceding a
FX,
highway
to
name
quote-
until now.
to quote no effects, it's if it happens outside of California, it's foreign policy.
I mean, that might as well be Gustavo Arellano saying that.
Sure.
But yes, we do say that.
There's a rule in Wisconsin that if you go past Milwaukee, for every 2 miles you go past Milwaukee, you go one state further south in terms of cultural, in terms of like social conservativeness. Like, so by the time you get to like Green Bay, like it is weird. Yeah, it's an interesting place.
Okay, I will not go to Milwaukee.
Don't go. Milwaukee's fine. Don't go north of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee has like the Florida thing going on where the more north you go, the more south it gets.
Yes.
I have to actually. I'll go to like I forget where Trixie Mattel's motel is. It's somewhere in the Milwaukee area though, or is it was? I don't remember where it is now. Never mind. I'll figure it out and I'll go there. It's pink.
Very nice.
I have to do a like long podcast with slides thing, but I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Go for it. Yeah.
Gonna piss. It's just a thing I do.
Very nice. All right.
Well, that's permanently on the record now.
Oh yeah, it's permanently on the record. It's not going
Mhm.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Never.
So how are you?
I'm fine. I'm reveling in this. Like, I cannot believe I'm looking at the numbers for Jerry Brown's approval. And I'm like,
Every single wet season it goes up.
like, are we that dumb?
Yes, we
And,
are.
Like, are we that monkey brain still?
We most certainly are. Every wet season, the approval rating goes up.
I feel like more and more, I feel like Ted Kaczynski every day.
Ugh.
The Industrial Revolution might have not been a great idea.
A disaster for the human
A
race.
disaster for the human race.
I'm not quite there yet. I am about the internet, though.
I love how he
I-
just talked about leftism for 70 pages and bribed the New York Times into printing his article, or else he'd do it again.
I love it. My favorite was the FBI. It was basically like, yeah, we already found where this guy lives. You know, just indulge him, please.
Yeah. There's no precedent
He like
to like
think his
go find
house-
him.
like the shack he was functioning out of during that time.
I saw
was
that
a
shack.
Perfect, it was a perfect like 10 by 10 shack with a roof at a 45-degree angle.
It's actually a nice looking shack.
but like that's
during
that's
the,
not
uh,
how
home
you
before
make
tiny
during
home.
buildings.
the state mandated 8th grade trip to Washington D.C., we went to the Spy Museum, and it was there. And I took a really funny picture in front of the Ted Kaczynski cabin. That like is
I've heard
probably
if-
one of my finest moments.
I've heard if you send him mail, he'll like reply.
Yeah, he'll
from
reply
his
to
cell
you.
in the Supermax prison.
That's
Yeah,
so
and then
nice
he'll,
of him.
like,
I would
actually
honestly
give a
not even
handwritten
open up that
response.
mail. I would just like have
Frame
a
it.
sealed letter from Ted Kaczynski framed on my wall.
And put that in your
I'm back.
like if you're reading this, I'm dead box.
Yeah.
And it's a letter from Ted Kaczynski that's unopened. Anyway.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, where are we
welcome
at?
back. We were at well, first we noticed that every single wet season Jerry Brown's approval rating went up,
Yes.
but only for the wet season. Then we were talking about getting a letter from Ted Kaczynski because he can write you letters.
Ah, yes.
Make
knows
sure
how
to
to write.
make
Many can write letters.
don't ask for a package from Ted Kaczynski. That's
Yeah, they
important
toss those
to
ones just straight into the trash.
Yeah.
think. Yeah. Please give that to your local bomb disposal concern.
Mm-mm.
Y'all still
Anyway.
want to be on YouTube, right?
It's
We're talking
fine,
about
don't worry.
disposing bombs.
Yes, we are a bomb disposal podcast.
We're going to teach you legally actionable advice on how to dispose of a bomb.
Yes. Anyway, so this is Lake Oroville here, and this is the lake that East Coast news outlets like to show with pretty much no context and no historical significance to show that the West Coast is stupid. Yeah.
News? Doing that?
Really, I
Huh.
had no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, so the spillway done got messed up, and it basically caused this gentle spillway to turn into a torrential waterfall that destroyed the entire hillside.
Mm-hmm.
Caused evacuations in the town of Oroville. It was an interesting time. They just nearly repaired it for the low price of $1 billion simoleons.
Yeah, Oroville is known for quite a lot. It's a fairly historical area.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of like labor up in that area as well. But yeah, and then destroyed
yeah.
from
This is the starting point for the state water project. So pretty much all the water in this that goes to Southern California starts here. So that's why it's really, really important. Anyway, so Mr. Newsom, he's had some interesting plans over the years.
Mhm.
Some of them good, some of them not so good. Here's him shaking hands and doing a gentleman's hug
Mhm.
with President Trump.
Hmm.
I just
Not
want to
gay.
say that Trump ruined red baseball caps forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to sport a red baseball cap.
I will double take anyone I see wearing a red baseball cap now.
Yeah.
got
uh,
Like
Yeah, I've got
they're
one.
just
It's-
ruined. They're ruined. You can't wear one anymore.
I have one that's like the exact shade of MAGA red, and
Oh.
it's just very unfortunate.
Fire truck red.
I've been finding MAGA red hats at the thrift store for a while now, and yeah,
That's good.
that's where they're all going.
I just
Yeah.
wear black ones and just burn my head.
I just think baseball hats look bad on.
Pretty much anyone.
Yeah,
I have to wear a hat. I'm bald. I don't want like skin cancer on my head.
look, I'm not saying you can't wear a
I-
hat. I'm just saying I don't want to wear the hat
I will
unless like
wear
I somehow become very like blonde with a ponytail through it or something.
Yeah, while I'm in
Just
the
very bimbified.
Yeah, bimbos can do it, but that's not me or you. I'm working on it.
very
My
nice.
tits tripled in size in the last like 3 weeks, so like I'm working on
Turning down my
Working on it.
volume.
it.
Turning down volume does not have headset. Okay, so Governor Newsom, his funniest plan, and this is the plan that's probably the best one, which is building a tunnel underneath the delta, because when water comes from Lake Oroville, it kind of just goes into here and then it gets pumped out of here, which, you know, fish get stuck in there. It's a big mess. And then if you drain the delta too much, you get saltwater intrusion.
Is
So
that where the
building-
fish tube is from? Just trying to get the
Yes.
fish? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
So-
god. So they've literally created a river that fish can't use because it drains and fills.
Yes. So
Oh my god.
the plan, which started out really good, is to build a tunnel completely under the delta to bypass the whole problem. You don't need to pump water out of it. You don't need to worry about overdrawing it. You don't need to worry about killing fish. It was an overall good plan, except these are a list of fault lines in California. Around in the area.
All right.
This one
Yeah.
goes pretty much through both of these. So it hasn't happened yet, but they're planning on doing it. They just need to figure out that pretty large detail.
Well, you know, we're allowed to frack over here, so I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
really not that big of a deal.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, what's a little earthquake every now and again? I got an earthquake notification a day ago.
Whatever. I've only been in one earthquake in my life, and it was when we lived in Mountain View in Silicon Valley, where I was fucking born, because I was born at fucking Stanford Hospital, and it was that really big one in 1989.
Oh,
That was the one I lived through. I was
Bay
one,
Bridge wrecker.
less than one. Yeah. Whatever happened with that, I lived through that one.
Very nice. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the big one.
I feel them
well,
all the time.
it wasn't the big one. It was a big one.
No,
I have never
no,
felt
I'm
one. I
waiting
think
for
it would
the
be
big one.
I think it'd be really cool, but I don't also want to have to put other people through that.
Oh,
My only
I
hope,
love when people from out of state, like when they live here, go through an earthquake because they freak the fuck out.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
like,
so funny.
scared. And I'm like, I'm not waking up for anything less than a 6. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, my hope is that if I'm ever there when the biggie happens, it's that my only request is that I'm not taking a shower while it happens. Well, it's to hope that I am not naked while it happens.
I just want to be
Oh.
like in the middle of a field somewhere, nothing around me, just like on the ground, rattling back and forth, like
My-
one of those like balls with the weasels attached.
Having
The-
shoes on at the time will be a bonus.
This last like big earthquake that happened, it happened like a year and a half ago or so. One where I was like, oh, I guess I should stand in the door jam, shouldn't I? Because I
Yes.
was not. I was not. But my roommate was taking a bath, so it like sloshed around. So yeah, I was just like, I guess I should get up and brace myself in the door jam. I remember.
Oh God, I'll get up and try not to die in the earthquake.
Well, no, see, above me was a pencil drawing of some of the former presidents of the United States.
Oh yeah, don't get killed
being
by
the
that.
last thing
Yeah.
you see.
Yeah, I wanted a white
It's
elephant.
Just like that is like Grover Cleveland's face getting larger and larger, and that being the
Oh,
last
I'm
thing
coming
you-
right at you.
No, it's Kennedy, Reagan, Washington, Lincoln, and the 2 Roosevelts.
I think
Oh.
I have a what is it? I think I have a McKinley Pez dispenser.
What?
All right.
So
on
basically-
that note, I'm going to the bathroom. Y'all can continue.
Okay.
They a while ago they made a historical Pez series, and I got the most irrelevant set of 5. Let me look this up.
That's great. Just a
Yeah.
the one from Kennedy opens at the side of his head.
Oh. Let's see.
I assume the McKinley one just sort of splays apart.
Yeah. Let's
And-
see. I think it must have been like volume
One
three
in to
of
push the Pez back
ones.
in.
Every time you try to use the McKinley one, all the Pez just spill everywhere like an explosion.
I think it is volume 3. James K. Polk, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, and James Buchanan.
That's pretty great. That's a good set.
Oh.
I want volume 4 because that's got Rutherford B. Hayes, and I want the man that ended Reconstruction to serve me fruity candy.
My God, just imagine, just filling fucking Jackson, just filling Jackson with banana Pez and just being like, yeah, this is the world I live in.
It's
They're
a really
apparently not
cursed
supposed to
thing to have a
unwrap them.
headphone cable long enough that you can use the bathroom.
Oh no.
We love to consume.
I get that.
That was a good Pez bit. I'm very glad. I was literally laughing my ass off while peeing.
Just going everywhere. I can't control it.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so I'm not gonna read off all of this list. But
Yeah, what's the takeaway from the list? So I don't
the
have to
takeaway
read.
from the list is
I'm
that
not getting any money.
it's good. Well, you're not getting any money, but there's a lot of funding in lieu of the latest drought to both increase wetland sustainability, which is, where all the water that goes into all the reservoirs starts, and then, drinking and wastewater infrastructure. And
I'm
this
seeing
actually-
a lot of like actual good stuff about repairing and like providing wildlife. Like,
Well, we certainly do need it because with the recent oil spill, it got
Yeah.
into one of our only wetlands, which has
Oh.
a lot of endemic species. I used to go to that wetlands all the time too, Bolsa Chica. Yeah, can't find those animals anywhere else in the world.
Oh.
and now you
This
can't find
happened-
them.
Yeah.
And now they're covered in oil.
This happened a little too late because this happened like
Mm-hmm.
a few days ago. But Newsom's budget proposal, which includes about $37 billion for various climate change related things, which is, I read the whole thing, and given Governor Newsom's verbose nature, it was no small feat. there's a lot of good stuff. The biggest one
For
was
the-
something like
the great nation state of
$1.2 billion
California.
for forest management to prevent fires.
Oh, that's good actually. I mean,
Yeah.
we used to do more controlled fires.
Yeah.
You really should start doing that again. I swear to God.
Well, now that you mention it,
hey,
yeah. So we'll start here. This black and white photo. This is the exact same vantage point in Yosemite, and the one on the left is from 1899, and the one on the right is from 1994. A lot more trees in 1994.
well, that's obviously good. Tree's good.
Yeah, it may make a nicer Christmas card photo, but this
Yeah.
was how nature intended the land to be like, through fire and reconstruction and fire and reconstruction. That's how it was supposed to be.
No. We
But
have
if you-
managers.
If the big scary fire comes and you put it out right away, more trees are gonna grow, and more trees is a goddamn tinderbox. So when a
Yeah.
fire does happen, it's gonna
That's not
destroy
what Tinder
everything.
is. Ridiculous.
It's a tree good. And then here are the valued employees of the prisoners Cal Fire Forest Management Unit, which I
The
thought
slaves.
about this. On the surface it seems kind of dystopian, which it kind of is, but so California makes it super easy for these guys to get high-paying firefighter jobs right when their sentence ends, because
No,
they're
I mean,
already
like-
trained, they already know how to work. So yeah, I could see it both ways.
Well, no, it
Except-
is
yeah.
just both.
No fire department will hire you if you have a felony. No fire
Well,
department.
It's
in the
also
state.
true.
Cal Fire will.
Well,
yeah,
They don't care
right.
what you do. Cal Fire will literally point you into a burning building and say, "We need to save this building, otherwise we're not getting any funding next year."
I
Yeah.
mean, reading stories of people in prison who've done this. They're like, no, this is a great thing. I'm glad I got to do. I got a lot of skills. I got to get outside, do things, like help people out. Like, it's a positive thing. The weird
It just
dystopian
looks
nature
really
of it is
bad.
the slavery part,
Yeah.
which is like,
Yeah.
that's still bad. These
Mhm.
folks could just be firefighters without being at the prison.
Yes. I wonder how many times people escape during this, because it's a wildfire. I don't imagine they're doing any of the deep, really intense firefighting. I imagine it's more of the trench digging and line making, not necessarily the in the burning trees part of
No,
it.
you
'cause
can get
you could just
pretty up close to it.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I wonder how easily you could just escape.
I mean,
It's a very
again, that's
different
the
Shawshank Redemption.
that's the dystopia part, is
Yeah.
that they're spending more money on making sure you don't do that than probably fighting the fire, because
And
they're
then-
not paying you.
Of course, then you do escape. Now what? You're in the middle of nowhere in a wildfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is and also
I feel like they planned that.
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's what makes it this dystopia. It's, here's $1 million to fight this fire. I need you to spend 600,000 of it on guns and tracking devices to make sure the firefighters don't escape, and the other 400,000 should go to dropping water on it from planes.
Yeah. So
With what water? I don't know. Figure it out.
I can't say this enough, but wildfires are natural. It's not like
Mhm.
how fat was demonized such that any fat's bad. No, wildfires are a part of the ecosystem. The reason why partially we're in this mess now is because there weren't any wildfires. And things got so
Right.
bad, the vegetation got so thick
Yeah.
that fires could
And
become
we have
demons.
we have certain bushes, like short shrubby bushes over here, that the seeds germinate when exposed to smoke, and that's how they've evolved.
Mhm.
They're supposed to they're supposed to be germinated by smoke, and those would cover up
Mhm.
much of the land, and those would then also end up being burned. From my understanding, the local groups, the local Indian bands would do that. They would control the fires because they understood this cycle. But since the Anglos came in and disrupted their way of life, things have not been very great here for anyone.
Yeah,
like-
and go ahead.
And Yeah, and then everything we build now is made out of petroleum byproducts, so it
Yeah.
just completely it just fucking like tissue paper.
Well, yeah,
that's
we
why
can't
the-
have brick buildings here because of the earthquakes. Like they'll fall apart.
Mhm.
The big fire that happened in Boulder, like that may have started out as a small scale grass fire, but it was
Yeah.
more so just a mass house fire. It's
Yeah,
one
that
house
burnt-
went up, and then the other house went up, and the other house went up. Like, yeah, it
Yep.
started as a bushfire.
That burned my house down.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
That was
god, I'm sorry.
That was my mom's house. That's where I grew up. I live in Denver now, but my childhood home burned
Is she
down.
okay?
I mean, she's living in a hotel and having to do all of the private, like, everything's a small plot of land that is privately owned, and all of the cleanup and insurance and everything is individualized and privatized. So she's just having to be her own bureaucrat while also working and living in a hotel. And she got rejected for like 2 apartments because she doesn't make enough money to have an apartment. So she
my God,
finally
I'm
found
so
one that would
sorry.
let her have it. So at the end of the month, she's gonna have somewhere to live, and she's not doing great, but like she's also like getting it done. Shit, I said I would do some data entry for her by this time today. I have to do that after the podcast. Put in, but my mom had a lot of like stuff in her home that she'd collected over the years that was like really old. So like the
Okay.
insurance is like, what can we do to replace this? And it's like, oh, you can't. It's
Oh.
just 200 years old. So that no, it was a fucking. I'll send you a picture after or something if you want. Like it just entire house burned to the ground, ashes. My favorite part was the I-beam that runs underneath my bedroom just fell out of the ceiling and cleaved my mom's van in 2 almost.
Oh my god.
It was fucking something. Which the van is just a skeleton, that blackened skeleton that's in half now. So
Wow.
it was fucking yeah. Anyway, I got to see all of those things go up because I could watch some live video of my home burning down.
Okay.
Fun.
Anyway, not to bring it down a little bit, it's like I'm safe and living in my home, which has not burned down, but shit, we lost a lot of stuff that was special to me, but everyone's okay. So
Okay, well that's good.
yeah.
So sorry if
Yeah.
you hear the elote man selling elotes. That's what that clown horn honking is.
The what?
Okay, I can
very
barely
loud.
hear it as soon as you mentioned it. I can just barely hear it.
Thank you, Elote man. Thank you for carrying your wares across this God's country.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from forest
Mhm.
fires,
Mhm.
we have Grandpa Joe Volume 2.
All right.
So I was very like mad that the Bloomberg Mike will get it done campaign slogan like was not appropriated, because that was such a good campaign slogan. Mike will get it done.
Mhm. It didn't mean
Right,
anything.
but it doesn't mean anything, and also we knew that he wouldn't. Like
we all knew Mike Bloomberg would not get anything done. So I've appropriated it for Biden because I know
Well-
he will not get it done.
Well, see, this is why you're not a high paid like politician, agency, whatever person, is because see, Biden will get it done is not believable because no
No.
one thinks he'll get it done. Like they're voting for him specifically because he will make it very hard for things to get done, and things will feel the same for everyone above a certain income bracket for a while.
It was Biden. I am not Trump. that was literally
Yeah.
just the campaign slogan. And then this was Jeb's fantasy. He has it every 4 years. It never happens, but he's gonna keep dreaming.
No,
Oh yeah,
one of,
he's got
one of
this.
his
Got it.
nieces is going to be the president before he ever is.
2024 is gonna be it. He's gonna do it. 2024 is this year. I'm feeling it.
I think he's finally perfected his guacamole recipe. I think they could finally get him into the primaries.
The Republican Party is getting really torn up about vaccines because Trump is pushing them, and
Yeah.
other like candidates are not.
If this
And
is
they're
what
just not as
kills
charismatic.
Trumpism, I think that is gonna be the funniest way for it to die.
and vaccines.
No,
That's what the right wingers think it's going to do.
The
Yeah.
funniest way for Trumpism will be Trump saying that vaccines didn't work, so everyone adopted a stance of them not working, him backpedaling because he realized you can't grift a corpse, and then it falling apart because of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that would be really funny. And we're going to get some sort of interesting new synthesis where I'm going to go with, I don't know who's going to run for the Republican ticket, but they're definitely going to take it a little further. And I think Jeb will run as a Democrat.
Just a maybe.
I mean, he honestly would do well as a Democrat.
Oh, that's what I
Oh,
mean. It's like it
totally.
would be totally advantageous.
He,
If
is
he
more
wants that
popular-
map,
Yeah, he's more popular with Democrats than Kamala is, I bet.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm thinking of the headline. It was with Kamala looking unelectable. Democrats consider the nuclear option, and then it's just Jeb.
Yeah.
it's the Jeb with his Yahoo campaign button.
Y'all think that we're gonna see a Harris Buttigieg 2024 ticket?
I'm gonna throw.
We
up.
better
You're gonna
not.
make me throw
Let's
up.
get another election cycle of Tulsi Gabbard resigning like uncomfortably late in the election cycle.
It was
That'd
Like
be
to the
fun.
point it was pretty much like either Trump or Biden, and Tulsi Gabbard was still on every ballot for some reason.
Yeah, like
Yeah, no,
even
that was great.
Sanders was just like, nope.
My
Guys,
favorite-
Sanders can do it this time. We're gonna put him in the
Well-
cryopod and we're gonna talk for him.
Well, no, this is the thing. If Tulsi, actually, no, there's your matchup. Jeb needs to run as a Democrat in 2024, and Gabbard needs to run as a Republican in 2024, and that will both sort of like they really fit better in those slots anyway, just sort of policy wise.
Oh yeah.
My favorite thing that happened recently was Democrats tease Hillary Clinton as 2024 candidate, and then one of the replies was untease that shit.
My God, that has to just be some sort of like contrived news thing.
It better be a
but-
shit post.
Like that has to be the elites learning to shitpost a little bit, right?
Maybe.
Like that can't possibly be a real thing, they think, or I don't know. We got one of the my partner's family sent us a package of stuff for Christmas, and it was all really cool except for one thing, which was just impossibly cringe, which was a enamel pin set of Ruth Bader Ginsburg saying I dissent. And we were like, we just kind of looked at each other, and I've had a long-standing offer to like talk communist politics with my partner's family for a while because they don't like know anything about it. We'll just be talking politics, and every few months or so, they like during the election, they sent us a package of tea from the Joe Biden campaign. So it was Joe Biden tea, and I just sort of tore that off and put the tea separate. And I just
like, it's
we
perfectly
need to
good
talk to
tea.
them. No, it's the tea is fine. It's good tea. I just needed to
Good
get
tea.
Joe Biden off of it.
And then
It's bad. We need to talk to them. They're liberals in a very red sea, and they think that we think like them. And I'm like, no, God.
Nope.
And then we have the big bill that couldn't, and then I put in today can't.
Yeah.
Because this is Joni Ernst, who is an Iowa senator, whose name I had to write in the slide notes because I could not remember who her name was. Yeah, Build Back Better. So that's basically the one that passed, except it actually cares about people and not bridges. So that's child tax credits, maybe climate change stuff, maybe. Depending on if Joe Manchin says yes or no. Oh my God, I hate.
I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah.
Go with no.
Oh, did it already happen? I haven't been paying any attention to the big Build Back Better stuff because, like, excuse me, I lived through the first term of Obama. That was my formative political moment. You can't tell me that the guy who was in office when Obama was there, who was elected to make people think that Obama was still president, isn't going to happen the exact same way. So I just checked the fuck out. Like, you tell me when we Build Back Better. And no one is telling me this, and people are talking to me about how like, oh no, the new provisions are in. I'm like, stop playing the fucking game and just like, I don't know, show up at your senator's house and yell at them.
Yeah, I have a DemSoc friend who will always talk to me about like what's going on in the Senate, and I'm like, I'm not paying any fucking attention
don't
because
care
this
about your
shit ain't gonna
courtroom.
happen.
Your royal court drama, like your palace intrigue. Fuck it.
This shit ain't happening. Sorry.
No. They keep telling me it might happen. It's like, yeah, something might happen. Do you think the act of something might happening will actually achieve any material difference for your or anyone you know's life? And they're
At
like,
that
well,
point,
but it would be
no.
at someone's. And it's like, well, but then you don't have to pay attention to it.
So moving on, we got this picture that literally gave me a
Oh,
jump scare as soon as I saw it.
devilish.
This is a scary picture.
It was like the shot in
Oh
a Bond
my.
movie where like there's a sniper looking out of the window that works for the KGB, and like Bond looks up and nails a perfect handgun shot from 300 feet away.
Who is this guy?
This is
I don't know.
Who is this like
Charles Schumer.
Blofeld figure?
It is a Mr. Charles J. Schumer.
Oh
I don't know. I don't know if that's his middle name or not.
That's my middle name is Jay.
Guess
Yeah,
who
Chuck Schumer
these-
from this angle is just
Yes.
ooh, scary.
Guess who
I don't-
these two senators are who are opposed to rule changes on the filibuster?
Mansion and Cinema.
Good job.
Ha
Wha-
Is Schumer open to changes?
No.
Oh,
Wait. Schumer. I assume Schumer is probably. I don't know where he is. I'm gonna guess he's probably committed to changes. Anyway, it's like it's such a with the voting rights bill and then like rollbacks and voting rights. This is kind of the only way to stop that unilaterally is to put it at a law at the federal level. But
Democrats sure don't know how to run a government,
no,
do they?
I mean, they know how to run a government for them. They're
They know
doing
how to run
everything
an-
right.
They know how to run an election every 4 years, and that's it.
I mean, they know how to run a royal family, and they're doing it pretty good. They've even expanded it to a new set of people. I mean, that was the American promise: is that we're gonna try and bottle sovereignty a little smaller, so it's not a king, it's your dad. And now
Yeah.
our country is run by everyone's dad,
we'll see what happens.
Hi,
with the
Dad.
voting rights.
not your
bill.
dad.
Not my dad.
No, not mine either.
Going back to water. The 21st century mega drought. We're here.
Mm.
So this is a historically significant moment. As I said, the 20th century was some of the wettest periods in recorded history, which it was. If you look back, soil moisture graph, which is denoted by the letter sigma, which I thought was funny.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, the
Right.
sigma graph.
yeah, the sigma graph. You got periods of wet and dryness, and we are almost surpassed the driest part on this.
I
whole
love
graph.
those times where it just
I-
goes under, where it goes under this line. That's not good.
Yeah, we don't want it to go underneath the line.
Yeah, the line labeled
Damn,
mean, which I assume is describing what it's like to live under it.
Yes.
Mhm. Man, like that, the late 1500s were just dry over here. Oh goodness.
Oh yeah, it was bad. The late 1500s. That's what killed most of the Native Americans in the Southwest.
I was gonna say, wasn't there like a mini ice age during around that time, or was that the 1300s?
The mini ice age would have been.
I have no
here.
idea.
No, I think that caused like droughts over here, something like that.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know
I
we
would just-
covered this one at some point. The mini ice age. I don't remember.
Nobody who makes a podcast remembers what they say on it.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna completely forget this conversation and your names tomorrow.
Yeah.
Actually, in like
Very
45
nice.
minutes. I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of running through these slides because I gotta
You-
answer something
You,
after
you,
this.
br-
but
you brought us on to derail your show a
I
little
did.
bit. Now we're
I
at like
did,
3
don't
hours.
We're at feature film length.
we are almost at the end of this. So Newsom's reelection. Look at that.
Man,
Look
he's
at
got
that
some
strong
guns.
pose. He's got a good chance. Really, he's got a good chance literally because there's no one else who's gonna
Oh
replace him.
yeah, no
There's
one.
no Democrat who's gonna run to replace him, and there's no Republican who can replace him.
He's weirdly popular here.
Yeah.
With the Democrats.
That's
and
so
he's
weird.
he's very unpopular.
Occasionally seeing like fucking donut Twitter being like, yeah, wow, look at this thing Newsom is doing. And I'm like, wait, there are people who would give him the time of day?
Wow.
52% of people doing that. 52% of likely voters, which I assume is even a smaller subset of people who did vote.
But that like the thing is, this is an incredibly blue state. Like I know that you'll see like a ton of counties like be red, but though like
Yeah.
no one lives there.
Yeah.
No
like
one
three
lives there.
people. Like, oh wow, all 3 people in Trinity County wanted to recall Newsom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Everyone in Kern
McMansion.
County wanted to. No, these are not McMansions. These are like log cabins.
Oh, this is like you buy a log cabin so you can incidentally just own all of the water.
Yes.
Yeah, well, like parts of California, like outside of the big cities, like even outside of like Bakersfield, which I would still consider a big city, are just like it's literally just like log cabins. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And that's the reason why pretty much no one lives out there because it's dangerous. Like no one's coming to save your ass during a wildfire.
They're
Mhm.
bears.
It's
They're
kind of hard to live out there.
They're bears, and you
Bet
get
you
no
Newsom-
cell phone signal.
Newsom could do it. Look at those fucking guns. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
hey,
could
he
fight
is
a
like-
bear.
You should exile him.
Yeah. Prove his worth.
Yeah. If he survives the next administration in the wilderness of
He has to hike to the top of
We're gonna get like he's
Sequoia
gonna become
National Forest.
yeah, he's
if
gonna
he
be like the
takes it.
new Liver King or something.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah.
he has to get from Death Valley to the top of Sequoia National Forest, and if he does that, you're worthy to be the governor of California.
Yeah, he has to climb one of the trees though.
Yes, he has
Yeah.
to climb General Sherman.
Yeah.
So
you have to save the life of a Joshua tree with your own tears.
Yeah,
Too much
so-
salt.
the
That's
state
too
of the
salty. I'd probably
state.
kill it.
Really, California's got money right now. Cal Fire is getting better at spending money on prevention. The drought's getting better.
One of the
but
few times they're better at spending money. Getting better at spending money is good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this wet season probably won't stop the drought, but it'll make it better.
Good.
And
Good.
A little bit about Newsom, just to close us out. He was the mayor of San Francisco back in 2008, and that's where he got his notoriety for giving incredibly long speeches, which made it all the more surprising that the state of the state last year was only a half hour. This is from SF Gate, and I quote, Mayor Gavin Newsom gives earnestness a bad name. He's dumped a 7.5-hour State of City address on YouTube, comprised of 10 webisodes on the topics from public art to poverty, and it's coming to a laptop near you this week. Fueled by a banana and a burrito, he tore through the segments on a long Monday night last week before a camera setup that has all the flair of a vacation video. It's dimly lit, the PowerPoint's unreadable, and there's a guy walking in front of the lens during the muni. Though it was shot at the California Academy of Arts and Sciences, one of the glories of the age, the setting looks like an airport hotel conference room. The concept, an entire workday of watching, is a stimulus package for Newsom critics. They're weighing in with Fidel Castro comparisons and other what was he thinking exclamations. The YouTube viewership so far equals the voter turnout in a medium-sized district supervisor race.
I don't like the Fidel
don't-
comparison.
Yeah, I don't like that either, especially because I'm looking at this graph and I really think that like that green section really should be the blue section,
Good.
but for like secondary properties past what you use to live. That would be more, I assume, Castro-y in
Yes.
the barest sense.
I mean, Theo Fidel had like a lot to say, because there was a lot to say about Cuba. And there's
There
Mhm.
was a lot to say about Cuba.
He just loved his country.
But as for the future of California water, the future is what will tell us. I don't know. And that was
Yeah,
the
I was gonna say,
longest
what did-
episode of
what did I
Calfire
learn?
Crackpots I've ever done. What you learned? What did you want to learn?
Well, I've learned
it's
that,
really
like-
what you take from it.
Well, I'm really thirsty right now, but I can't get any water.
Yep.
I learned that it's about as bad as I thought it was, but now I have some numbers.
You
and
have
reasons.
historical context and you have
I do. It's
reasons.
amazing
it's interesting.
how, because you said that a little earlier, talking about, I don't know, we were talking about what they teach in schools and context and people treating things like whatever, and I'm like, yeah, when you don't teach any historical context for anything, you just don't know how it works. Oh, so we were talking about what the South is. I'm like, then the West. It's like you kind of have to know history to understand what we mean by South and West.
Mhm.
So that's where we are. Where
Cool.
we're going is a journey that we will take and make together.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Who will
All right.
starve? Who will overcome?
Yes. And our next episode is water where it's at, water in sub-Saharan Africa, but you two will not be there.
Oh, gee,
Man,
tell us
I'm
now.
gonna
Thanks.
need to go to bed after this. Goodness gracious.
What an episode.
Well, thank
you
you
for
all
having us.
again
That
for
was
being
awesome.
here. This was really fun. We did
Hold
not
on.
deserve to have you guys on here.
What was
Oh,
this, 2 hours?
Oh, well, then you
and
should delete this.
2
Yes.
hours, 18 minutes. I watched
Wow.
a movie last night that was shorter than this.
Nice.
you
yeah,
guys
but did
want-
you have as much fun?
No, you didn't.
The
If you guys
movie,
want-
it was a Bollywood movie, and I
Oh,
forgot
yeah,
to
it
look
was
up the
bad.
IMDb before watching, and it was 2.1 out of 10.
I watched
Oh.
4 minutes of it with you.
Yeah,
I couldn't follow it. I was really tired.
it was a very confusing part. They were in Syria for some reason.
All right. Well, if you guys want a copy of the MP3, just let me know, and I'll try to give it a zip bomb to you at some point.
Yeah, send us a copy of the MP3 so we can clip out like 20 minutes or something and give it to people.
Yeah.
Perfect. All
Yeah.
right, and then we will have this uploaded
Redirect to you.
as
Yeah.
soon as I watch the rest of it. All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and thanks a lot. Remember, we're doing our Dead Space. Bye.
Yeah, listen to Psychic Dolphin Garage. And if you're listening to this on Psychic Dolphin Garage, go watch Calfire Crackpots on YouTube. Oh, yes.
Thank you all again.
The debate